California, what's going on? This is hour one of Jon and Jim, and we'll be with you for the next 4 hours. And of course, once this Padres game is over, we'll have full reaction. We'll hear from Mike Schill. Kevin Acee will join us at 5 p.m. That'll be after today's game. We will catch up with Tom Penn, who is the CEO of SDFC. They're back home this weekend. He'll join us at 3. And if you missed our conversation with longtime San Diego State assistant basketball coach Dave Velasquez, you'll hear that up at 2:30. So all has been better over the last 24 hours related to the San Diego Padres, Jim. They get Luis Ariz back. They get Jason Hayward back. They beat a really good pitcher yesterday, obviously, in Logan Webb. And as you touched on in your update, they're leading the Giants right now. And we're receiving word on expected returns for both Jackson Merrill and Jay Cronenworth. This was from Kevin Acee today. The updated target for Merrill's return is Monday. So not Friday in Pittsburgh, but Monday in New York. He also said, and this is a couple of weeks out, so I'm surprised he said it this clearly. He said Jay Cronenworth is expected back for the series in Colorado, which begins May 9th. So we're getting clarity on the Padres, who are getting healthier, and within about a week might be fully healthy with their offense. Jackson Merrill maybe Monday in New York, and Jay Cronenworth, the series that follows that Yankees series next weekend in Colorado.
Everything's fine.
Everything's good.
Everything's great.
Honestly, it kind of is. They're 18-11. We'll see about today. But if they get through April 19-11, it's going to go down as like one of their best first months in the history of the franchise.
You know, last night, it was the Xander Bogaerts game.
Yeah.
I think this show should take full credit for last night for Xander Bogaerts.
Because we ripped him for a month?
Well, no, not that we ripped him for a month, but we were the anti-jinx.
Right.
I do believe in the anti-jinxes. I'm a big anti-jinx guy. And yesterday, we had a lot of questions that we asked about when Xander going to hit his first home run. Of course, we were joking off tonight. Watch, he goes 2 for 3 with a home run and a 2-run double. Like, of course, tonight would be the night. And also the night they're going to score 7, 8 runs. They scored 7 runs. Xander Bogaerts had the best game of his season so far. They're getting guys back. They're up 2-0 today against the Giants. Looking to sweep a quick 2-game series. Like you said, improve to 19-11 after the first month of the year. Crazy how things change after a 48-hour span.
There was a lot of, a 4-game losing streak is going to happen.
Yeah.
And they've dealt with it. And there was a lot of, I don't know if it was overreaction. There was just a lot of reaction to it. And if they do get through this month at 19-11, I'm with you on the reverse jinx. I'm all for it. I hope Xander continues to play well like that. I hope he continues to prove people wrong like that.
Prove us wrong. Here's what we said. Prove us wrong.
But here's the thing. I've said 10 times in the last 2 weeks, hey, Xander, maybe tonight's the night you hit a home run. Maybe tonight's the night you have 3 RBIs. Like, we've said that 10 times, and he finally came through yesterday. And we'll see what he does in this game and moving forward. But this goes back to the point I made when they had lost 4 straight. Like, it's a long year. You can't always say that every single time a team plays really well or doesn't play well, that, they're 14-3. Well, let's see what happens. Or they've lost 4 straight. Let's see what happens. But it is a long year, and they're 18-11. And I'd have to look it up, Jim, but there's not a lot of examples of the Padres ever being better than this. And they're not fully healthy either. So I don't know. I mean, it's encouraging that they won yesterday against Logan Webb. It would be even more encouraging if they sweep this 2-game series. And if they're 19-11 through April, I'm super optimistic, which is basically where I've been since they got off to this great start this year. I just remain optimistic on this team based on the way that they've played. How could you not be if they're 19-11 a month into the season? Like, what's the criticism?
Well, the criticism is still the depth of this team. How it's not really criticism. It's almost just like pointing out factual statements.
Right. But even the depth, like Tyler Wade and Elias Diaz.
I know Tyler Wade
every single time,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. And will we overreact when they lose 4 in a row? Absolutely. Just go listen to Monday's show.
Yeah. I mean, right. I mean, it's easy to do is the point. It's very, in our job, it's easy to do it.
Because there are expectations with this team. This is not a team that we're just like, whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
There's expectations, and they're fairly high expectations with this team.
Agree with that.
So when they play poorly for an extended period of time, which they did for a week stretch there where they looked awful, with the expectation that they have and we have of them, we're going to be critical. And then it's nice to see that, and I really do think the off day really helped this team, like reset, just kind of move on, right? Because if they, I think, played Monday night, it might have been a little more difficult to produce. Now, getting Luis Ariz back in the lineup, that's also great, but I don't think he's the, like, it's like, oh, they just got back the reincarnation of Barry Bonds or something. You know, Luis Ariz is a very good player, and it definitely helped. I don't think it was the main reason why they scored 7 runs last night, but I think it was a bit of a reason. Just
it's only one game.
It's only one game.
Yeah.
But overall, like, the team getting a reset there and showing that even after an awful week of baseball, they can bounce back, which they did a lot last year. They had 4 5-game losing streaks, and after every 4 5-game losing streaks, it seemed like they always would go on a mini run or start playing really good baseball. So far, first, significant losing streak of the year, 4 games, 5 of 6, 8 of 11. They come right back last night and they play the brand of baseball that we saw them playing at the start of the season.
My guess is, and I don't know if this will be factually correct or not, my guess is every team will lose 4 straight at one point this year. I think that typically holds true.
The Rockies have already lost 4 straight 25 times.
Every time they've played 4 games, they've lost 4 straight. So teams are going to, it's how do you deal with the adversity that we even said when they started 14-3 was inevitable. We never said when they were 14-3, they're rattling off 116 wins. Like, we knew they would come back to earth. It's always the manner in which you came back to earth. The concern for me was as they came back to earth, it's because they were dealing with injuries. Now, the benefit there, or the small win there, was none of these injuries were like, this player broke his leg, this player's elbow. Right. It hasn't been that. And even though some of these have been longer than we've wished, like Jackson Merrill, he'll still be back in the field in early May. Or Luis Ariz, who has this crazy, scary injury. He misses only 1 week. Jake Cronenworth breaks a rib. He may be back May 9th. So that's why, for me, it's like, stay the course. They're 18-11. There'll be additional adversity. They will deal with it again. This won't be a straight line. This division is good. So, yeah, there'll be a lot to critique and criticize. But as they get healthier, the more optimistic I'm going to get on their potential moving forward is how I see it. And we'll see if that, bodes out to be factually correct or not.
Well, if and when they get healthier and then they start playing like they were playing at the start of the year, maybe not that clip. That's an incredible clip, 14-3.
Yep.
But not going a week and a half or a week stretch where you don't score at all and you get shut out twice and you get swept in a series. If they start playing a much better brand of baseball fully healthy, then I'm with you. Absolutely. And they're going to have ups and downs for sure. We've already just gone through our first down of the season, and hopefully they can finish off the Giants today and you get a nice 2-game sweep here. And by the way, if they did win today, small sample, but they would be 5-0 against the National League West.
Yeah, very encouraging. Yep, absolutely.
And then you start your longest road trip of the year coming up on Friday here, starting in Pittsburgh, where you will not face Paul Skeens, which is definitely positive. That is a win. And then you get Jackson Merrill back for the start of the Yankees series starting on Monday night.
Which would be like amazing theater, obviously. And the Yankees have gotten off to a good start. But to your point, I mean, you're going to Pittsburgh where they're 11-19. And like the story is Paul Skeens. So, yeah, they have to win this game. And I mean, there's a lot of things they have to do. And I think a lot of what we've both said has been factually true. Yes, they did struggle for 10 days. Absolutely true. Yes, their offense did look anemic. Yes, there were reasons for concern. Absolutely true. Also, absolutely true, whether all people want to hear it or not, is they've dealt with injuries like all teams are going to do. And hopefully they end up healthier and better off for it. Because we saw the first 10 or 15 games when they had Jackson Merrill and Luis Ariz and Jake Cronenworth. And they did play better than they played the last 10 or so games. And also, it's just the Mike Shildt, like, I don't know, Mike Shildt as a manager, St. Louis in here has managed really good teams that get to the postseason. That's basically been his track record. 5 or 6 seasons, gets teams to postseasons. This year, hopefully, is not an exception. And based on what we've seen through a month, honestly, Jim, if you would have told me after the month of April, the Padres are either 18-12, 600 baseball, or 19-11, better than 600 baseball, I'm like, check. Where do I sign up? That's a great start. That puts you on path to make the postseason, maybe even vie in this division for a good portion of the year.
So what was your honest reaction last night when Xander hit that home run there late in the game?
I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. I really couldn't believe that he had done it. It was like, I didn't think it was possible in watching the game. He had a couple of moments there, that seeing eye single with 2 outs the first inning,
which was huge.
He hit another ball hard that was caught. I'm like, but I don't see, I was trying to envision the time that he swung a bat and the ball left his bat and went over the wall in fair territory. And I couldn't envision it until he hit a hanging slider out 320 feet over the left field wall.
Off a pitcher who has not allowed a single run this entire year.
You know what that's called?
What?
Baseball.
That is called baseball. Also, it was a nice, like we mentioned, reverse jinx from Don and Mud, just throwing that out there.
Hasn't allowed a run.
Has not allowed a run this entire season. Every pitch he's thrown is not reducing a run.
Xander hasn't homered since last year at some point.
I couldn't help but think of, all the reaction that it got online and social media, and everybody saying, I can't believe it. He did it. He actually did it.
Right.
It kind of reminded me a little bit because he was running around the bases, and it wasn't like a fast trot. It was like a slow trot, almost like he's just kind of taking it all in.
Right.
I don't know why, but I immediately thought of like the Kirk Gibson home run in Game 1 of the World Series.
A little bit.
Like, I can't believe what I just saw. Like, what just happened?
I was shocked. My first thought was, it's going to be foul, right? Like, my first thought was, because he hit it that far, I'm like, is it going to be foul down the left field line? He hit it in the perfect spot, Jim. I mean, officially, according to StatCast, he had a 350 feet, 350. I don't buy it. To me, it looked more like 315. But maybe that's the one that gets him going. I don't know if that's true or not. He's 0 for 2 today. But maybe that's the game that gets Xander Bogaerts going. We've said that so many times though in baseball. Oh, here's the momentum game. Here's the season-changing game. Here's the game where this player turned. It's one game. So it was good to see. We're going to need to see a lot more of that from Xander Bogaerts moving forward. A lot more. A ton more.
Yeah, one game, it's great. Last night, it was the Xander Bogaerts game. Easily.
Right.
Best game of his season by far. But you're right.
Do it again.
Not only do it again, do it for a month.
Yeah.
Like
7 home runs in the next month.
I'll take 4. I mean, I'm not asking for him to be a 50 home run dude, but why don't you produce at that level consistently? Not to I got to hit a home run every game and have 3 RBI, but can you have a month where you have like 15 RBI and like 3 or 4 home runs and like 4 or 5 doubles?
It's going to happen. I mean, he's going to be here for a number of years. He's going to have a good month, right? I mean, hopefully he has a good more than 1 month in 2025.
Well, let's take baby steps. First, we started with, can you just have a game? Then we are now at can you put together that type of stretch and be hot for like a week?
A series.
That'd be, there you go. A series. And then can you do that for, I don't know, a month? Like, I'm not even asking for a full season yet, because that's a really big ask right now. But can you do that for a month? Can you be hot for a month? We've seen it before. We saw it when it was meaningless baseball in September of 2023. We saw when you became a singles merchant last year when you got back from injury. No pop. Can you do it now? But can you put it together for like just a month? That's all we're asking.
Padres and Giants, when it goes final, we will hear from Mike Schilt and Kevin Acey's on the show at 5 p.m. Plus, we'll hear from Aztec assistant Dave Velasquez coming up at 2:30. Much more reaction to last night and today involving the Padres, plus these injury updates. San Diego Sports 760 has 13 chances to win $1,000 every weekday. It's the Bonus Bucks giveaway. That's every hour, 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. Listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. Lakers basketball at 7, SDFC midweek live at 6. Jon and Jim with you until then. When the Padres game is over, we'll hear from Mike Schild and Kevin Acee. You know, I was thinking this just a moment ago with all this talk about the ups and the downs and the injuries and the season and the position players. Lost in like we didn't mention in the first 15 minutes of the show, Nick Pivetta, Michael King.
Oh, yeah, those are big pieces.
And this number one bullpen in baseball, that's based on the numbers. And there's so many numbers that support it. There's like 8 main indicators, and they're like number 1 in 7 of them, including ERA, sub-2 ERA for their bullpen. But Nick Pivetta yesterday, and you made a good point in the wrap-up show, by his standards, it wasn't Nick Pivetta that we saw in his other home starts, but he was still really good. And then you follow that up with Michael King here today, and this game's still early, but he leads 2-0 in the 5th inning. And you made the point as well yesterday, like Pivetta and King, like you've lined up your rotation this Giants series with 2 of your best starters, if not your 2 best starters. You're using a 4-man rotation. So far, so good against San Francisco, and it started with the starting pitchers.
Yep, Nick Pivetta has been incredible. We talked about this once the Roki news dropped, and were we all bummed that Roki decided to go to LA and not come to San Diego? Absolutely.
Yeah,
I was very bummed out. I would have loved for Roki to come here.
I would have loved it for our YouTube channel.
I would have loved it for a lot of reasons, not just for the Padres, right, but a lot of reasons for Roki Sasaki. And then a week later, or a couple days after the news, they signed Nick Pivetta. And the first immediate thought was, after looking up Nick Pivetta's numbers and advanced numbers and everything, yeah, this year, Nick Pivetta more important and more valuable than Roki Sasaki.
Yeah, that's what he said.
It's already proving that. Mm-hmm. This year, Nick Pivetta is going to be more valuable than if Roki Sasaki was here. Just for this year. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the contract with Nick. I don't know what's going to happen with the rest of Roki's first 6 years in the big leagues. I think Roki's going to be very, very good. But I'm just talking about this season in particular. What pitcher can help you win right now? It's a clear cut. And we said at the time, is Nick Pivetta. Because Roki's in development stage. He's going to have some great performances where you're like, whoa, the stuff's going to pop. The excitement for him as far as his future, it's going to be an all-time high for Dodger fans. And I get that. But Nick Pivetta is a better pitcher right now than Roki Sasaki is right now.
And as we said a lot this offseason, even though we were disappointed with Roki, is like the Padres got to win now, because we don't know about 2026. Correct. I think they'll put themselves in position to once again compete in 2026. I don't think this is a wheels fall off type organization under John Seidler or AJ Preller and with this fan base. I really don't. But I can't guarantee that in 2026 they have the same potential as 2025. The one thing about the future with this team is you have to concern yourself about aging players. Yu Darvish, Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts. Like, that's conversations with all players. And they'll backfill. They got great young players. Fernando Tatis Jr., Jackson Merrill. We'll see about Leo DeVries. There are others in there as well. But we're so concerned in the here and now about 2025 that you bring up a really good point. Nick Pivetta is here and could have a bigger impact, probably will have a bigger impact on the Padres in 2025 than Roki Sasaki has, for example, on the Dodgers in 2025. So Padres got to win right now. Yes, I'll say in 2026 they need to win then too, but they are built to win right now with this high payroll, with a bit of an aging roster coming off the disappointment of last October. They got to get right back there, Jim, and they got to find a way to break through where they were a year ago in October. That's what they're tasked with doing right now, because we look up a year or two from now, Manny Machado is not going to be a pup anymore 2 years from today. He's going to be 35 years of age at the end of 2 years from today.
And already this year's team compared to last year's team early on, and I know, you know, Joe is in and out, and same thing with Darvish, right? But last year was mostly King and Cease. Mm-hmm. This year so far, Cease has got to pick it up. He's had some nice starts, but also some bad starts. I think his start against the A's really inflated a lot of things. Yeah. But overall, you got 3 horses at the front of your rotation, and Nick Pivetta has been, everything Padres fans could dream of early on. And with that, you have more pitching and better pitching than you did last year. And last year, King and Cease were fantastic. But now this year, King, who's on the mound today, he's been nails all year long, except for the opener.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pivetta has been their best pitcher consistently throughout the season. And then you still got Cease. I still trust that Cease is going to have stretches where you're like, okay, this guy's unhittable again.
And like the ace in the hole is if Yu Darvish is going to help this team. I don't know when or how often, but I truly believe that Darvish is a part of them reaching their ceiling. He's a good, we saw him last year in the postseason. He's a big piece. I'm not saying he's the sole piece or the ace piece at this point in his career, but he's a piece, and they'll rely on him hopefully at some point. So at some point here coming up in the next month or so. All right, let's hear from Dave Velasquez coming up on the other side. We had him on Jon and Jim yesterday. Longtime assistant men's basketball coach with the Aztecs. Transfer portal closed. We caught up on the state of the roster, all the players returning for the upcoming season. So if you missed that, you'll hear from Dave Velasquez on the other side. Tom Penn, the CEO of SDFC, will join us coming up at 3 p.m. We'll talk about SDFC getting ready for a home match coming up this weekend. Kevin Acee at 5 p.m. as well. Don't go anywhere. It's Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Discover. Padres Giants, final game of a quick 2-game series right now at Petco Park. Padres lead the Giants 3-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Moving over to NBA action tonight. Rockets Warriors game 5 in Houston. Warriors have a 3-1 series lead there. Tip off is at 4:30, and then the nightcap Lakers and Timberwolves tips off at 7 p.m. Lakers trying to avoid elimination. The Timberwolves are looking to move on to the second round. You can hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760 at 7 p.m. And before that, 6 p.m., SDFC Midweek Live with Darren and Adrian Garcia Marquez. Listen right here for 1 full hour of SDFC talk at 6 p.m. Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face the facts. You're stuck in the past based on February 2024. Nielsen reports. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
All right, we're going to hear from Colin Cowherd coming up in about 15 minutes. Was Shedeur Sanders' drop explainable? Colin will explain coming up in about 15 minutes. Plus, Charles Barkley weighing in on the oddity of Bill Belichick's interview on CBS Sunday Morning. That story continues to get more odd. You'll hear about that coming up at 3 p.m. But if you missed it yesterday, we caught up with longtime Aztec assistant Dave Velasquez. What an offseason it's already been. And we started the conversation asking, what's it like for a coach once the transfer portal closes?
You have no idea. I don't think our fans really have any idea on what that month is like. And, it even starts a little bit before even the season ends, when you start to have conversations or you start to hear things. And, one of the things that I think fans don't really quite understand, and I'm not sure how as much as the media does, but everyone in the business understands, just because you're not in the portal doesn't mean you're not being talked about with other teams, whether it's an agent, whether it's somebody I mean, that's just the nature of college athletics right now. And just to fight that and really end up where we ended up in today's climate, it was what I'm calling it right now, a modern day miracle. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, we had so much support internally from not just from former players, from our current players to keep this team together. Obviously, our staff did a great job, unbelievable job. But to really have the support from the families that are part of this program, to trust us, to come back for one more season, when all of them, every player has the opportunity to leave, and for them to all come back in today's climate where, we returned so much after losing so much the year before. And we're just excited to see the growth and to finally, it's a lot of work we put in with a lot of these young guys, having 3 freshmen, 3 sophomores out of the, 8 or 9 rotational guys we played. I mean, it was a year that we were very much looking forward to getting to the next year, and we're getting here now.
So Magoon returns, which is awesome news. But on the flip side, he does have to have knee surgery. So how is Magoon doing? And then just looking at the bigger picture here, how significant is for you guys to know, like, officially Magoon is returning and he will not enter the NBA draft?
It's incredibly significant. You're talking about a freshman of the year, defensive player of the year in this league. I just saw him today. We had workouts today. He was there doing his rehab. He looks great. He's in great spirits. He's able to get around the class already. So he's doing really well. His spirits are incredibly high, like I said. And, the biggest thing with Magoon is this is going to be, an opportunity for him to really take care of this injury, and where he can just start to really, when he comes back, to be at full health and focus on all the things he learned from this past year. And he was getting so much better. He really caught his groove right there when he got hurt at that Utah State game. He was playing the best basketball he had played his freshman year. And so we're very, very excited. So it's a massive, massive get for us to have him come back. And for him, again, like I said, to trust us and to trust his team that this is the best place for him to make his NBA dreams come true. And for us to also, go back to a Final Four and win a national championship.
With the injury, does it, I'm not going to say hurt his development, but it slows it down a little bit as far as, having a full offseason where he can improve off of the things that he needed to improve off of after year one? Is there any concern there?
No, I don't think. I mean, of course, you would rather have him healthy. You'd rather have all your guys healthy, of course. But yeah, I mean, to say that there's not a real concern in terms of it's obviously not going to speed up his development, but there's things we can do when he's out, and he won't, after this first month, he'll be able to move around a little bit. It's really the long process to get a guy back to being able to play in a full game,
right, yeah.
But to start moving around and go through some things. I mean, he'll be able to do that here sometime. I mean, I'm not exactly sure the exact timeline. All this stuff is going to be on how the rehab goes and how everything is going. But we're not expecting him to be laid up on a training table for 6 months either. So it should be, should be for Magoon to be back for the ready. He'll be back playing in the beginning of the season. But before that, it's not like, okay, we're just going to, get him off the training table and throw him in a game. I mean, there's going to be months and months of stuff that we're going to do with him on the floor before that.
That's good news. Yeah.
Yeah. We're looking forward to, of course, seeing Magoon hopefully back and ready for San Diego State's opener this November. Dave Velasquez, San Diego State assistant coach, with us right now on Jon and Jim. Can you speak to some of the goals you had in the portal when it came to additions? Because you had so much success there as well. Sean Newman Jr., what he did last year in terms of assists per game, the way he's grown his game. Jeremiah Oden, Aztec fans have seen previously in the Mountain West of Wyoming. Latrell Davis, Aztec fans have seen. I mean, we saw it firsthand, Latrell Davis this past season while with San Jose State. So can you just touch on those additions and what they hopefully add to your roster moving forward?
Yeah, Latrell is the one that I think our Aztec fans will be probably most familiar with. I mean, I think he averaged somewhere between 22, 23 points a game against us this year, hit 5 threes against us at Viejas. So he's a guy that we need, we expect him to come in here and do what he did at San Jose State, but at the same time, grow his game, catch up to how good we are defensively. And he has the body for it. He has the mindset for it. And his character's through the roof. He wants to get better. He's a younger sophomore. So he's a guy that's got a lot of growth in front of him. So we're excited about what he can do, especially in terms of his offensive talents. It's not just shooting the ball. When he gets downhill, he's really hard to stop, and we had to deal with that ourselves. And then the Jeremiah Oden, he's like a prototypical San Diego State guy. If you were to walk into a gym and say, what does an Aztec look like? I mean, he's the type of guy. He's an unbelievable athlete. He's long, guards multiple positions. He's incredible on a fast break. He can shoot the ball. And to me, Jeremiah's one of those guys. This past year he was hurt, but we really liked Jeremiah when we played against him in Wyoming, and then when he got into the portal that first time. So it's something we're very familiar with, and we're excited to get him here. And then Sean Newman's, he's a guy that you get a third assist leader in the country. I think as much as the coaches are excited, I think the players are excited. It just makes everybody else around you better. You got a guy like Reese Waters who's coming back, who's just an outstanding wing. We'll see what happens with Miles Bird, but let's say he comes back. You got him on the other wing. You got Reese Waters on another wing. You're playing with guys like Taj and on and on and on throughout the whole roster, BJ, everybody. I mean, we have so many guys, and a lot of those guys is, strength is finding ways to score the ball. They can do a lot of things, and Sean's just going to make their game better, but at the same time, a lot easier. So the game's going to be a lot easier for them. And then obviously the bigs love it because they got a guy that can throw them lobs. They got guys that will drop off early to them. So he looks for the bigs, and Sean's just such a gifted passer. And the one thing about, to go back on what I was saying earlier, I mean, the character of those 3 guys that we brought in is so high, and it's going to really mesh well with the guys we have. Their families are outstanding, unbelievable support from them, not looking for the biggest dollars, just wanting to go to the right situation, wanting to be somewhere that they know they're going to be treated right with, and also at the same time be pushed, be held accountable, and expect to win. And so, again, it's not just the players that make these decisions that come to San Diego State, it's everyone around them, and could not be more thankful to our current guys for making the decision, but also the new guys coming in.
What about the freshmen that you guys are bringing in here? Some pretty highly sought after players coming here to San Diego State.
Yeah, I mean, likewise with them. I mean, incredible families and great people, unbelievable in the classroom, and just awesome players. I mean, Tay Simmons, if you had to say on the AAU circuit last year before, I mean, he plays so hard. They always talk about, motors of skill. I mean, Tay's motor is unbelievable. He plays every possession incredibly hard. He hits the offensive glass every single shot. He can score on you from multiple positions, multiple spots on the floor. I'm sorry. And, one of the things that Tay can bring to us is also just like an energy that you can rely on every single day, just a consistent energy, which is going to be huge for us, especially with the young guy. The growth will be there because he'll come ready to go every day. And then with L.C. Harrington, we got lucky to get him as well. The whole situation, unfortunately, with his father that I'm sure you guys have read, his father's not doing well. He wanted to stay close to home. And he came here to us, and he's a stud player. I mean, he's the guy, when you guys see him in person, he's a lot taller than it looks on film. He can do a lot of things. He shoots the ball really well. He passes really well. He's one of those guys on the basketball floor. It's more of what can't he do more than what can he do, because he can do a lot. So yeah, excited to have him, and again, this is going to be as much competition that we've seen at an Aztec practice in a long time. And that's exactly, as a coach, that's what you're excited about. That's what you're looking forward to, because you know how much work these guys already put in. But now when these practices start and we get together in July, it's going to be on every single day.
There's no doubt about it. We're with Dave Velasquez. So what does it look like now from like a staff perspective? Take our listeners through that. Like you said, the team, first of all, you reconvened so early. And like I said, it's a year-round venture. The practices begin in July. But what happens in May and June in anticipation for later in the summer?
So we've been doing 4 days of workouts every week since the season ended, basically since the face of Final Four. So we've been in the gym. Now, when finals week is next week, so our last workout with the guys will be this Thursday, May 1st. And then after that, the guys kind of go their own way. They all kind of do their own thing. And to be honest with you guys, back in the old days, everyone used to go home. Now they understand that you live in San Diego. You can afford to live in San Diego. Why would I leave San Diego? So we'll see a lot more of them in May and June than the old days, and they'll be still working out in the Jam Center. But then in July, after that fourth week, the July 4th week, our second session of summer school starts around that July 7th, July 8th time. And at that point, we'll have all the new guys. Everybody will be here. Everybody will be clear to practice, and we'll hit the ground running with all the guys. And the guys will kind of start to trickle into San Diego. The new guys, the ones we just talked about, those 5, they'll all come in. There's not like a set date, but on July 7th, they have to be ready to go for practice with our entire team, with the former guys, the current guys we have on our team, and the new guys will all be the first time on the floor together.
Well, I think I'm putting it lightly that Aztec fans are excited for the upcoming season. We're still 6 months to go. I mean, the season won't start for 6 months. It'll be the first week of November, but Aztec fans are through the moon excited. I just saw the reaction for some of the returnees at that banquet, specifically with Magoon. You could see how much he appreciated what it meant to have the fan base kind of rally behind him. I mean, people are so in tune with this, and to have Magoon, among others, Dave, as you know, back, but to see the way the fan base reacted to Magoon the other night, that was kind of special, wasn't it?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, those guys that are coming back, to feel that energy again and to have them all there. And Miles Bird, he's driving back and forth from LA to San Diego, and to have him there, his parents there. I mean, there's just San Diego State is so special in so many ways. And that night you could really feel it, and it's just, again, it's not just the guys, it's the people around them that makes the place so special. And our fans are as good as there are in the country. And obviously with the Mesa support, that they were able to step up, and the fans were able to step up. And we had some certain people in town really step up and help us. And now we got a really good team back, and a team that went through some growing pains last year that we were expecting really big things out of next year.
Dave Velasquez, always appreciate you taking time for us. Get some sleep if you can.
Yeah, hey, John, I got one last thing for you guys. That was the first banquet. I've been here 23 seasons, I believe, and that was the first banquet that Ted Leitner did not MC, and you had to replace a legend. And John Schaefer, you killed it. You did an unbelievable job. Ted was great. You were awesome, and I just we can't thank you enough, man. We're so excited. You're going to be the future voice of the Aztecs. You're as good as they come, brother.
I was waiting for you to say, you know what? We actually really missed Ted.
Ted was sorely missed.
I was at the tip of my tongue on that one.
Dave, seriously, I truly appreciate you saying that. I can't wait for November, like Aztec fans. Thank you so much, and we'll catch up again, obviously, this summer.
Sounds great.
All right, good catching up with Dave Velasquez, San Diego State longtime men's basketball assistant. On the other side, Colin Cowherd today on San Diego Sports 760 and San Diego State 760, explaining Shedor's drop. Was it explainable or not? You'll hear from Colin on the other side. Stay with us, Jon and Jim. Make sure to download the all-new iHeartRadio app and put San Diego Sports 760 in your top preset position. You can listen to live play-by-play like SDFC or San Diego State and Jon and Jim weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on the all-new iHeartRadio app. Speaking of SDFC, their CEO, Tom Penn, will join us coming up in about 10 or so minutes. They have 5 matches in May. Cinco en Mayo. Mayo, not Mayo. I have this little release here.
Huh?
They have a little note.
Cinco Mayo?
Cinco en Mayo.
Yeah.
Because they have 5 matches in May, including Saturday, Military Appreciation Night at Snapdragon Stadium. So Tom Penn will join us coming up in 10 minutes.
Yep. Can't wait to talk to Tom. Also a reminder, tonight, 6 p.m., SDFC Midweek Live. And then, if you forgot or just don't know, we carry every single game and every single match right here on the station. So Saturday, you can listen to Match Day right here on San Diego Sports 760.
All right. So Colin Cowherd, weekdays, San Diego Sports 760, 9 to noon, had an interesting take on Shedur's slide. Take a listen to this.
Remember, there was only about 3 teams we thought were going to take a quarterback in round 1. Tennessee, the Giants, who were clearly not interested, bad interview with Shedur, and then Pittsburgh, for sure. Cleveland, by trading down, told you they may get a backup, but they're going to get their starting quarterback next year. Well, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette writer yesterday told Rich Eisen that the Steelers were not looking at Shedur Sanders. They were looking at backups. Like the LA Rams, the Steelers and Rams, this is what I told you. I didn't buy the Rams, wanted Jackson Dart. They were interested. They thought Jackson Dart was interesting, but the Steelers, the Rams, the Browns, next year is the year they want the quarterback. This was a backup quarterback draft. So that's more information on Shedur. Pittsburgh was never in the starting quarterback market. They wanted to get the roster ready for Aaron Rodgers, draft a backup. That's why Aaron Rodgers kind of took their word for it, but wanted to wait. But let me just say this. Can we stop with this narrative? It's the worst take and narrative happening in sports now. The NFL just doesn't know what they're doing with quarterbacks. Timeout. Let me tell you first-round quarterbacks currently in the NFL. Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow, Allen, Herbert, Stafford, Jaden Daniels, Aaron Rodgers, C.J. Stroud, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Kyler Murray. Oh, by the way, Baker and Sam Darnold. Not to mention, Drake May looks really good. Bo Nix looks really good. Caleb Williams is really talented. That doesn't even count the Pro Bowler Tua, who I'm not a huge fan of. Almost all. Jalen Hurts fell to the second. Yeah, he got benched in college. He had to transfer. He's smaller than average and still not a great pocket quarterback if you listen to Greg Cosell, who I trust. The truth is, in my life, overwhelmingly, Bradshaw, Aikman, Peyton, Marino, overwhelmingly, Mahomes, Lamar, they've all been first-round picks. It's not easy to do this, but stop making Shedur and Deion Sanders the victim here. They're not. It's all really explainable.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Can you name the quarterbacks that weren't drafted in the first round that have won Super Bowls?
I love that question.
Not all of them.
Yeah,
but
well,
just give
I'll
me
give
a
you one
list.
that's won about 15% of all Super Bowls, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
So that's 15% of every Super Bowl probably ever played.
Who are the 2 greatest quarterbacks? A lot of people view these two quarterbacks as the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Who would you say?
Well, people would say Joe Montana.
Okay,
And they would say Tom Brady.
3rd rounder for Joe Montana, 7th rounder for Tom Brady.
I'll give you a guy that didn't get drafted in the first round that won a Super Bowl and played in 2, Russell Wilson.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is another one.
Jalen Hurts was a 2nd round pick, I think.
He was.
Okay.
I mean, we just rattled off right there about 15 all-time rings with like Brady, Montana, Hurts, Wilson. And there's others, obviously.
Kurt Warner was undrafted.
Yeah,
He's won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yes. Is the league going towards it's better to have a quarterback be a first rounder with all the intangibles and the size and speed and athleticism than it is to have a pocket passer drafted later on? Like, okay, Brock Purdy, 7th rounder, he's made a Super Bowl, hasn't won one, but
even Lamar Jackson, though, it's not like he was taking the first 12 picks.
He was taking the last pick of the first round.
Even Patrick Mahomes, not like he was taking with the first 5 picks.
No. So Colin's right on this sense, and he's he's calling out Mel Kiper and Joy Taylor for having
further commentary on quarterbacks,
childish rants about this. Like, calm down. It's okay. The NFL, it's a crapshoot. They can evaluate every single player. And guess what? Nobody has a system where they are 100% foolproof.
Mm-hmm.
You can think that this guy, Cam Ward, is the best quarterback in the draft. He's the best player in the draft. And you can be so confident in your belief in that, like the conviction of he is the best player in the draft. He could easily be a bust.
Yeah. I mean, the Niners using 3 first-round picks, trade up and take a bust at 3 overall.
Right.
It happens.
And it's not even just quarterbacks. It's every single position in the league.
All the positions.
Like, who is
it's magnified at quarterback because when you miss on guard, if you take the first guard available and you miss, there's so much less commentary on missing on a guard.
Right, because they aren't franchised
defensive tackle as opposed to edge rusher.
Yeah. So the fact that you got people like Mel Kiper, who has had some really, really bad takes the last week here or so with Shador, and then like Joy Taylor, like, how are you still on television?
Well, when did Joy Taylor become an expert on?
She's not
the NFL draft. I mean, at least Mel Kiper has made his career in doing that. He doesn't get it right either.
Right.
But I don't see how Joy Taylor's commentary would be at all really relevant.
It's nothing she says is relevant. But anyway, the point is, in the NFL draft, these teams do hours and hours and hours of work. And even then, they can still be wrong. Do you think they're just going there when it's draft day and be like, you know what, I like this player?
Yeah. Did anyone watch the combine? Do we have any film on this dude? No, they've done their homework.
They've done their homework. And sometimes you can be so sure of something and it's still not work out.
Absolutely.
Have you ever been in a relationship where you're like, this is the one? And then guess what? 6 months later, they ain't the one. It doesn't work out sometimes, even though you can be so convinced that this is the right person for you, the right draft pick, the right quarterback. You can be so convinced of that. You know how many busts have been in the first round quarterbacks too?
0.
Exactly.
No, you're right. There's been dozens of first round busts at quarterback. All right, we'll switch gears. Tom Penn, CEO of SDFC. They're back home this weekend at Snapdragon Stadium. We'll catch up with the latest with Tom Penn. Will join us next, Jon and Jim.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. We are with you until 6 p.m. And, of course, as the home of SDFC, we're looking forward to what's coming up as well. Coming up this weekend, San Diego FC back home. We've got Tom Penn with us, right? The CEO of SDFC. Big month of May coming up for SDFC with 5 matches at Snapdragon Stadium. Tom, first of all, hope you're doing well, and thanks for hopping on the flagship here today.
I'm doing great. I'm at Petco Park. The T-shirt toss is happening. It's a little loud right now.
All good. We see that the Padres are winning. Obviously, listen, you've started franchises before. You've worked in this industry for a long time. What's been your reaction to the way that San Diego has reacted to the start of this franchise and the way the first couple of months of the season have played out?
Been great. You know, we had such a quick launch because we didn't have to build a stadium. We were able to accelerate our launch, and with that came a whole lot of uncertainty. You know, you don't know what you're going to get on the field. You don't know what you're going to get within the community. You don't know how the building's going to work, all that sort of stuff. And I got to tell you, we're just thrilled with all of that. You know, we're approaching 1/3 of the MLS season done, and so far so great in all those aspects, on the pitch, in the community, and then at the stadium.
Yeah, I was going to ask about, specifically on the field, how nice was it to have the start that you have? You guys have struggled a little bit here of late, but to have the start that you guys had, to introduce yourself to San Diego, couldn't have asked for anything more.
Yeah, we're going to have ebbs and flows, and we were flowing at the beginning. We came out hot and really connected, and we persevered through some tough injuries, Chucky got hurt, and we haven't ever been with Reyes, our best defender, coming into the season. And then Marcus, our striker, got hurt. So even with all that, we got great results. And all those count. In this sport, you need to bank the points. You get those 3 points at a time. Those wins are big. And road wins in particular are big. So we start with 2 of those. We've had a little bit of a dip right now, but I would prefer the dip now rather than at the beginning of the season. We play Saturday night against Dallas at home, and then that's the first of 5 home matches in May. So it's moving time. Let's see if we can put some points on the board.
Tom Penn is with us right now, San Diego FC CEO. Let's talk a little bit about Saturday night. I know it's Military Appreciation Night. I love the start time. I think a 6:15 start Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium. What do you want our listeners to know about what's going on this weekend at Snapdragon?
Yeah, what's more important to this community than the military community? So we're looking forward to our first ever matching of what other groups do here, other pro sports teams. By the way, Giants home run. Nobody's happy about that here from Petco.
Live play-by-play.
I like it.
Petco Park from Tom Penn. Love it.
Yeah. But we start at 6 o'clock, a little earlier, which is cool. We're going to do a bunch of really cool programming in and around the military. And, those nights are so nice out there at Snapdragon. We'll start in the daylight, finish in the evening, have a great party afterwards on the piers. More importantly for the masses, we've got a cool giveaway. We've got this cool flag. It's an SDFC flag, military camo. 30,000 fans receive that upon entry. So it's a cool giveaway, and it should be a special night.
As far as the start of the game, I want to talk about the tradition that you guys have created here with the flow, the ball at the beginning of the game, everything that you guys have done, not knowing how it would hit. What's your thoughts on all the new traditions that this club is creating here with the supporter groups and then before matches and making the atmosphere the way it's been at Snapdragon Stadium?
Well, the most important thing by far is the relationship with the supporter group. We did months and months, really 2 years of really important work, getting to know the leaders, working collaboratively with them to co-create what is the north end of that and that's the most important part of our experience, other than our play on the pitch, is just how impressive that group is and how memorable and fun and passionate it really represents San Diego. So that's the key. You know, you mentioned the flow ritual to start the match, which is a bit more created, but it kind of came from the community as well. There was such a good response to our crest and our symbol of 18 lines representing the 18 cities in San Diego County woven into one. And we had a cool local artist create a three-dimensional model of that. When we saw that, we said, man, can we create that as a symbol of the spirit, the fire, the energy of San Diego, and then let's have an honorary keeper of the flow release that to start the season. And I'm just thrilled that it's been so well received and embraced, because that one's got a lot of legs. I mean, we'll take that flow ball to schools. We'll build a curriculum around it. It's a source of civic pride, and it's really going to become a thing.
Tom Penn is with us right now. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, the CEO of SDFC. They're back home this weekend taking on Dallas at Snapdragon Stadium. What's it been like, Tom? I bring this up as you're out at Petco right now. What's it been like to have the support of the sporting community? Obviously, Manny Machado is one of your minority owners. We've seen San Diego Padres players at games. What's that relationship been like?
It's been great. You know, look, everybody in this community loves our sports. And so, you know, we have 80 of our season ticket holders out here to Padres game because we want to have a relationship with those folks beyond just our matches. We're entertaining them here. And I expect the Padres will do the same at our building. You know, it's a small, tight community of pro sports, right? We don't have nearly enough teams or clubs. And on the men's side, after the Chargers left, of course, it's just the Padres. So we were thrilled to come into the sporting community, really good relationships at all levels. And, you know, Manny, of course, if you want to connect the dots, you bring in Mr. San Diego himself, and he's just been awesome as a partner. You know, he's really leaned in early in the year. And then it's hard for him to be physically present because he plays every day. Having a good game, by the way, out here. Had a nice pickup at third, and he was 2 for 3, 2 base hits to start the game.
I love the commentary from Tom.
If it doesn't work out, Tom, right, you can just go right into the booth, call these games.
Yeah, Don and Mud, scoot over. Tom Penn is here to take over for you guys. Final one for me, Tom. When you look at you know, the club as a whole here, and we've talked about a lot of great things that you guys have done. What are some things in the future that you're hoping to accomplish with this club, through the community, on the field, at the stadium, new things that you're going to be trying out? What are some things here that you want to accomplish here in the future?
Right now, we just want to build on what we've started with. I mean, we want to deliver high quality, consistently and efficiently. You know, we're into this phase of catching our stride on the pitch, in the stands, in every aspect of our development. You know, that's the immediate goal. And then for like this next quarter, when you think about the rest of the year, we want to put together a quality enough performance, qualify for the playoffs, and then just build through the summer months. And we've got a big stadium with significant capacity. There's all sorts of opportunity to come out and experience it. And we just want to weave our way into the community. And so far, so good.
For our listeners, SanDiegoFC.com/tickets, 5 home matches in May, beginning Saturday. SanDiegoFC.com/tickets. You can hear them all right here on San Diego Sports 760, beginning Saturday. FC Dallas, SDFC, Military Appreciation Night, presented by DirecTV. Tom, we appreciate you taking time for us. Best of luck to SDFC and also to the Padres this afternoon since you're at the game. Thanks, Tom.
See you guys. Thanks
Appreciate
for hanging with me through this.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Tom Penn, again, the CEO of SDFC. You thought it was all about soccer. It's not. It's about entertaining clients at Padres games as well on Wednesday afternoon, like Tom's doing right now.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, and I mean, because we've been watching this game obviously in studio, but we were hearing what was happening about 10 or 15 seconds ahead. It's like there's just a Giants home run. We look up, boom, Giants home run.
Yeah, the ball's like midair.
Yes, he's
like, that's a home run, and that was pretty fun. So anyway, I think what SDFC is continuing to try to do, and they're doing a really good job at it, is being involved in the community as much as possible and putting their face out there as much as possible.
Yeah,
like, oh,
definitely.
you know, we have a pro soccer team in town now, right?
Right.
Being at Padres events, being, you know, having their own events at different breweries and continuing to support local community. It's a huge thing, and that's a huge thing in soccer as well. We saw the Loyal do a lot of that, is being involved in the community as much as possible. SDFC is doing that right now, and the one thing that's cool is not the fact that they've played well this year, other than the fact that they lost 3 in a row.
Mhm.
It's that you turn these games on and you look at the stadium and they got 30,000 plus every single day, every single night, and that's only gonna hopefully get better. And it's just a great foundation to have to start your first season as a club.
Yeah, I think I actually have it in front of me, what they have announced so far this year. Saying, I mean, it's been great. It's in that neighborhood, like you said, of 30. I think they've announced here. Here it is. They have announced 31,314 per home match. 31,314, which, if you're wondering, is only surpassed by 2 teams that play in NFL stadiums. Charlotte, 33,000. Atlanta, 46,000. The only franchises in the sport, and this includes the Seattle Sounders, they play in an NFL stadium. Mm-hmm. The only teams in the sport that have averaged more fans than San Diego FC play in NFL stadiums, Atlanta and Charlotte. That's how good it's been. This is the largest soccer-specific stadium in the country, Snapdragon Stadium, and SDFC has used basically all those seats all season long. So that's really encouraging, because nobody really knew. When we heard about the franchise, we said, are they going to sell like the Wave? Are they going to sell the entire stadium? Is it going to be lower level? What's it going to look like? And it's been incredibly well received, and that should give them a lot of hope for not just 2025, but beyond.
Well, also, the NFL stadiums, like 30,000 in a 65,000 seat stadium, kind of looks
the same.
Doesn't look the same.
Yeah, I've noticed in some of these, they'll tarp off, which is commonplace in NFL stadiums. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, Atlanta, 46,000 is incredible, a lot. But you're right. The stadium seats 70,000.
And they've had matches where they have exceeded sellouts, where they are like packing them.
Like 60.
Oh, yeah. Stadium room only. Yeah. 70,000 people in Atlanta. But yeah, I like the fact that the support for this club from day one has been incredible. And they have definitely rewarded the fans early on with the way they've played. They are going through it right now, definitely losing 3 in a row. They did not look good at home this past Saturday, especially in the second half, just was not good. But overall, they're still in a playoff position. And at the end of the year, if they make the postseason, I would take that right now, regardless of positioning.
Completely.
Because in year one, you're just trying to get things off the ground and running. You're not fully focused on some things that you might need to be fully focused on. And they have so many things to do. The expression of building a plane midair, that's kind of what SDFC has been going through this season. And if they can make the postseason, I think if you asked them at the start of the year, would you take a postseason appearance in year one, regardless of where you're positioned? They would have signed up for that in a second.
Yeah, because we heard from some of the prognosticators to start the year that they were picked to finish 15th in the West, in the 15-team Western Conference. Right now, they're in 6th or 7th right now in the Western Conference. Great catching up with Tom Penn, CEO of SDFC. How odd is this Bill Belichick story with his CBS Sunday Morning appearance, his 24-year-old girlfriend? Charles Barkley weighs in on the Dan Patrick Show earlier today on San Diego Sports 760. You'll hear from Chuck coming up next. Once this Padres game ends, we'll hear from Mike Schilt and Kevin Acee at 5 p.m. Padres trying to sweep a 2-game series from the Giants down at sunny Petco. You heard that the Lakers will play tonight, Game 5. It's a must-win for L.A. They'll take on the T-Wolves. 3-1 Minnesota. Tip-off at 7 right after SDFC Midweek Live, and you're home for the Lakers in San Diego. San Diego Sports 760. The Belichick thing's bizarre.
Yeah.
He's putting out a release on North Carolina letterhead about his CBS Sunday morning appearance. CBS then puts out a statement refuting what he said, saying there were no particulars about the interview where they couldn't ask questions. Like nothing was off limits per CBS. Bill Belichick said a lot of the questions were off limits. So a little bit of a he said, she said with the situation playing out with not just his girlfriend, because he wrote in his statement today, also I have a professional relationship. Like she's his publicist, like PR rep, like representing him in these areas. Isn't that a little, it's one thing that they're dating. It's another thing like she's representing him professionally as well. What is happening here?
The whole thing is extremely weird. Extremely weird.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that it was at this level. I thought he was just dating a 4-year-old? 24-year-old? Okay. I mean, look, people can do whatever they want. Do I think it's a little odd that a 73-year-old's dating a 24-year-old? Yes.
Yeah, I do.
I do. But to each their own. Okay. When it gets to this level where she's like now being viewed as his publicist and interacting with, interview sessions and stepping in and controlling the narrative and controlling questions that are asked to him. Well, by the way, like he was wearing a shirt that I know it's his shtick, but like, come on, can't you put on a regular shirt?
Yeah.
Like he got like holes in the
Yeah.
top here. Like looked like he just woke up out of bed. I don't know. Very, very weird situation with Bill Belichick. And there's going to be way more questions than answers with their relationship going forward here.
First of all, the North Carolina thing is not going to end well. I promise you that. There's no way it does. Secondly, let's hear from Charles Barkley. It's not just us. It's not just social media saying it's weird. Charles Barkley explains his relationship with Bill Belichick. This is today on the Dan Patrick Show.
Well, this is a very slippery subject for me because Bill's one of my really good friends. I'm not sure what's going on. He's been a great friend for me for a long time. We've been friends since he coached for the Browns. I think he got to be very careful right now. This is starting to be on a very slippery slope. He's the greatest football coach ever for him and Nick Saban, for college Nick Saban, for Bill to NFL. Yeah, I from what I'm hearing, it's starting to be a very slippery slope. And I never talk about people's personal relationship. That's another rule I got. But I will admit I'm a little concerned with some of the stuff that's going on. And I might actually reach out to him and make sure everything's good. But I am concerned from what I'm hearing because, it's not a good look right now. I'll admit that.
And he's such a control freak, but he's relinquished control, it feels like. That's what's surprising to me.
Yeah. Listen, man, I have very strict rules on things about, don't ask me no personal questions. Nobody in my family can speak. No, I'm the one who's famous. I'm the one who have to deal with all the crap. No, don't speak. Don't say anything, because if you say something, it's just going to muddy the water. That's what I call it. If any family members speak out, it's just going to muddy the water. And I'm a little concerned. I'll admit that, because he's my friend through good, bad, and whatever. And I just hope everything's all right.
The slippery slope that Charles Barkley is referring to is, I think, paying this woman for the relationship that they have.
Because of what I just said to you, right now we're tying this together. They have a professional relationship together.
Mm-hmm. So
you're saying, okay, so yeah, I hadn't even thought of that.
He doesn't want to go there because it sounds like he would be calling this woman a prostitute. And for me, I mentioned that the other day. I don't want to go there. I do not want to call this 24-year-old woman that. But the slippery slope that I think Charles Barkley is talking about, and that what people are concerned about, is that he is paying this woman for whatever he needs, relationship or, professional, whatever, both. That is, I think, the slippery slope that Charles Barkley is talking about. That's why he sounds like I'm concerned, because if it comes out that Bill Belichick is doing that, that's just, ooh.
Well, I think it's now out because in his statement today, and I don't have it in front of me, he said he has both a personal and professional relationship. Is her name Jordan Hudson?
I'm sure.
I think with Jordan Hudson, his girlfriend. And that is a little odd. It's one thing, to your point, it's one thing to date a woman that's 49 years younger than you. Odd.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing then to throw in the additional complexity of having her represent you professionally in some form or fashion. That muddies a ton. The CBS Sunday Morning thing, by the way, this wasn't a massive story 10 days ago.
No.
Their relationship was odd, but it wasn't this massive national story. They introduced this. He's now selling this book, right? They're introducing this book. This is part of the PR tour. This was completely avoidable, Jim. They went on CBS Sunday Morning. It's this national show that's been on for 75 years. They put themselves in this mess.
Yeah.
He didn't need to do this. And it's very un-Belichick-like when you think about his professional career, where he's never the subject of stories the way he's the subject of a story like he is right now.
Yeah. So if it does come out that this personal and professional relationship started based on like money to quote unquote hire her, I mean, then you're thinking, okay, that's a bad look. And it already is a weird
I think it's a
look.
bad look right now.
Yeah, no, it is. You're right.
Because now it's he said, she said, and they're like, well, CBS asked questions that were off limits. And CBS came out today like, no, we didn't. We specifically asked if anything was off limits. And they said no. So, and how much of this is really Bill and how much of this is his 24-year-old publicist? Like, I don't recall any of this with Bill before this relationship.
Was that released? Did somebody put it through Chat GPT to see if it was through Chat GPT or not?
Which one, Belichick's or CBS's?
Belichick's.
It was a little odd. You saw it this morning? You know what I'm talking about.
I did,
The
yeah.
statement on the UNC letterhead, the whole thing was bizarre. And again, I do not think the UNC situation ends well. Not to say this has any impact on his coaching. I just don't think the UNC thing is going to end well. All right. On the other side, again, when the Padres game goes final, you will hear from Mike Schill. Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 5 p.m. The Wrap is still ahead as well. We'll turn our attention to the NBA postseason and the Lakers on the other side facing a must-win tonight at Staples. Stay with us, Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Discover. We'll start with the Padres. Game 2 of a quick 2-game series between the Giants and Padres. Right now, we are in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 5-3 Padres. Padres are looking for a sweep today. Moving over to NBA action. A couple crucial games tonight. Rockets Warriors tip off at 4:30. Game 5 in Houston. Rockets have to win that game or they're eliminated. And then Lakers take on the Timberwolves tonight. Same thing with the Lakers. Have to win that game or they're eliminated. Timberwolves looking to move on to the second round. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. Listen to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. And before that game, starting at 6 p.m. is SDFC Midweek Live, a full hour of SDFC talk right here on your home of SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past based on the February 2024 Nielsen report. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Kevin AC coming up at 5 p.m. The Wrap at 4. We'll hear from Mike Schilt once this Padre game ends. Padres trying to sweep a mini 2-game set from the Giants this afternoon down at Petco, and they lead 5-3 heading to the bottom of the 8th inning. So 3 defensive outs away from a sweep. As again, the Padres are leading 5-3. Presumably Robert Suarez will see the 9th inning. Now, you could call this a must-win game, Jim, tonight for the Lakers in downtown Los Angeles. I don't know if it's technically, but back home, down 3-1, all this criticism right now of Luka again in his defense, like we heard last year in the NBA Finals. How do you think tonight plays out in LA?
I think the Lakers win.
Me too, and I think they kind of win going away.
I think the Lakers are going to win tonight. The Rockets-Warriors series, if that game is close, I think the Rockets will feel the pressure.
Okay.
Because they're such a young team. They know it's obviously win or go home. The key to tonight for the Rockets is Jalen Green. Jalen Green has a good game. They're probably going to win. If he has a bad game, they're probably going to lose. Look at the series. The game that they won scored 38 points. The games that they've lost, he has scored under 10 points in every single matchup. So Jalen Green to me is the factor tonight for the Rockets. But if it is a close game in Houston, everybody in the crowd, all the Rockets, they're going to feel the pressure. And the Warriors are a team that, you know, you're close. It's like, oh, they got Steph on the other side and Jimmy. Yeah, it's going to be a little tough. But tonight, yeah, I'm with you with the Lakers. I think the Lakers win this one going away.
I do too. So the Lakers are favored by 5.5 points. Tonight, the Rockets are favored by 4.5 points at home. I tend to agree with you that I feel as if the Lakers are going to be able to, I don't know if they win handily, but I think the Lakers win tonight. I'm not so sure about the Rockets. We didn't even touch on what transpired last night between the Pacers and the Bucks. We were on air as the Pacers stole Game 5 and won the series from Milwaukee, but we weren't on air really for what played out there between Tyrese Halliburton's dad and Giannis on floor. A bizarre situation in Indianapolis. Again, the Bucks lose the series. What happened was unbelievable, the way that game ended, right? 8 consecutive points from the Pacers to steal that game from the Bucks. But what happened afterwards was almost more unbelievable, right? Between Giannis and Tyrese Halliburton's dad. What was that?
That was Tyrese Halliburton's dad being an idiot.
What was he? Yes, I completely agree. What are you doing there?
Why
are you on the floor there?
If anybody is blaming Giannis for anything that happened there, you need to watch the entire tape, because what it shows is the game ends. Giannis is at the free throw line, just kind of staring. And then his dad comes up, Tyrese Halliburton's dad comes up, and then gets in Giannis's face. And it just creates this whole mess of a situation that doesn't even need to happen. So this is not Giannis's fault. This is Tyrese Halliburton's dad's fault. And he apologized. And so, yeah, it was bad.
I think it could have been a lot worse if Giannis actually reacted differently. Like, if that's a different NBA player, I feel like the result could have been a lot worse. It was heated. It was, I mean, you got to remember, a player hasn't even reacted to the way this game has played out. This happened in an instant. It was a 7-point game with 34 seconds to play. This is one of the great comebacks like in the history of the NBA playoffs.
Ridiculous.
All right, 8 points in 30 seconds. They steal a game and win the series. And then boom, 5 seconds later, here's Tyrese Halliburton's dad in my face. That could have ended with a altercation, an actual fight. The fact that it didn't, I credit Giannis a lot. With the benefit now of knowing what happened there. Initially, I'm like, what is Giannis doing? Now seeing it and hearing on it, I'm like, I give Giannis a lot of credit in that situation that it didn't become worse than it was.
Well, Ryan Clark said this morning that if he would have done that to an NFL player, he would have headbutted him when he went forehead to forehead. Well, he said that he went forehead to forehead like that. But yeah, you said anybody that was blaming Giannis for that, Shaq. Shaq last night got into it with Barkley and Kenny, all about how, Giannis is soft and that his dad didn't do anything. Because Barkley's like, his dad's being an idiot. He shouldn't be out there. He should, be suspended from going to games for making it all about him. But Shaq was all, oh no, he didn't do anything.
The NBA going to step in with any of that post-game stuff? I mean, for example, the NFL today stepping in on this prank call gate, fining the Falcons $250,000, fining the DC $100,000. I mean, that's a different situation. But is this cool if you're the NBA? Just have random family members getting into the faces of their opponents?
Well, he won't be sitting courtside probably.
Yeah, that's true. They might prevent that from happening specifically. Yeah, I agree.
You got. Yeah, it's funny. You got two situations here. You got a dad being an idiot, so the son, Tyrese Halliburton, is like,
oh, dad, what are you doing?
Has to answer for his dad's stupidity. And then you got Jeff Ulbrich of the Falcons having to answer for his son's stupidity, even though we're it's being talked about a lot about Jeff Ulbrich's son.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you know how many players were prank called during the NFL draft?
How many was it?
10.
Did it all stem from the Ulbrich computer leak, or were there other examples of people getting the
Abdul
numbers?
Carter got prank called, said.
But did it stem from
I don't
the
think
Ulbrichs?
It did. They didn't say it did. They only talked about Shedeur Sanders. So
you're saying there were other leaks and breaches within the system that
Mason
had other
Graham
people.
got pranked.
Who did you say first before Graham?
Abdul Carter.
Didn't they also say Tyler Warren?
Tyler Warren got pranked multiple times.
How did Abdul Carter go third overall?
How about this? How about the NFL be better with not, distributing these phone numbers or numbers for phones the way that they did?
The Ulbrich computer thing is so. First of all,
I left my computer open.
Not just that. When his kid did the prank call, he videotaped himself. That, I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to get to the bottom of that. It took about 5 seconds for them to get to the bottom of that one.
Right.
So
that's Jack's Ulbrich.
Do you think you ever get over that if that's your son? I mean, his son cost his father, potentially in the future, his job. Secondly, $100,000. It's hard to cost your dad $100,000.
Oh, I'm whooping my kids. I am so mad at my kid if that happened.
Do you know how much money that is? Now, again, these guys make a lot of money. But $100,000, who has ever had $100,000 in the bank to then go pay someone? That's a lot of money,
dude. That is not good. I don't even know what I would do if that was my son.
But you brought up a good point. That's family. Sometimes it's your dad, sometimes it's your kid.
Yep.
Those family dynamics, dude.
It's can you just be normal?
Yeah, like dad from the Tyrese Halliburton perspective. Dad, can't you just be thankful that we came back from 7 down in overtime to shock them? Do we really need to get in Giannis's face? And then the Ulbrich situation. Hey, son, are you serious? You jeopardize my work to do a TikTok video?
Dude.
Oh my gosh. I'd lose my mind.
Imagine that phone call or the in-person, whatever. Because I know he's at Ole Miss.
Well, he might be coming home.
Yeah. You're done.
Finishing
you're
the
going
semester
home. You are going to.
He might be paying for school next semester.
You're getting a job. You have now lost all of our resources as far as money goes. Yeah. You got to pay for your own stuff right now. You're an adult and you did this to yourself and you put my career in jeopardy and you cost me $100,000. You bet your ass you're going to work at freaking McDonald's for the next 20 years, bro.
And the Falcons $250,000. They have it. It's the NFL.
Yes.
I'm sure they've got their slush fund for fines.
Right.
But what's that conversation like with Arthur Blank? Not a great one. Nope. I'm not trying to be on that phone with Arthur Blank.
Not
or in
a
that
good one.
Hey, this is going to cost us $350,000 because your son got cute. $350,000, and it's a bad look. It's just the whole thing is a bad look all around. But I really did think that last night in the NBA, that thing could have been even worse. And that ending of that game was truly shocking. with whoever had the ball go through between his legs. Who was that?
Gary Trent Jr.
Yeah, who had this amazing game.
Yeah.
Bill Buckner's through his legs. A moment later, the Pacers win and they win the series. That was an incredible finish last night in Indianapolis. All right. Padres Giants will go final. And when it does, we will hear from Mike Schild. We have the wrap coming up as well. Plus at 5 p.m. today, Kevin Acee from Petco. Padres trying to sweep a mini 2-game series from the San Francisco Giants. Won yesterday over Logan Webb, are getting healthier. We'll get some updates on timetables for some of these injured Padres coming up at 5 p.m. from Kevin Acee. We'll hear from Mike Schild. The wrap's coming up. Stay with us. This is Jon and Jim. right, San Diego Sports 760 has 13 chances to win $1,000 every weekday. It's the Bonus Bucks giveaway, Jim. It's every hour, 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. Listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. The Padres have swept the San Francisco Giants in that 2-game series down at Petco to finish off April 19-11. They've recovered from the 4-game losing streak to, again, cap off a 19-11 start through 30 games. Robert Suarez, another flawless inning for the Padres, who get the early offense. Michael King, the start. Padres, the win. We'll hear from Mike Schill coming up, but a very encouraging 24 hours down at Petco Park for the Padres.
This is exactly what the doctor ordered, especially after the 4-game losing streak, losing 5 of 6, losing 8 of 11, and just looking anemic on offense. To come out, put 7 runs on the board yesterday, to put how many runs they scored today? 4?
5.
5 runs on the board today, put 13 runs up in these 2 games after they couldn't, score anything in the last week plus. Very encouraging. I just love the way they played this series because it just reminded me of the 14-3 start. It was that team these last 2 days. Great pitching, timely hitting, contributions from everywhere in the lineup. Hitting home runs where they have not been able to hit home runs the last 11 games. Like it just, all in all, is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Here's what I like. Last night, Nick Pivetta, 5 2/3 innings, 9 strikeouts. And it wasn't even his best outing. He was tagged for an inherited run. I think he allowed 3 runs. Today, Michael King, 5 2/3 innings, 6 strikeouts, 1 earned run. Your starting pitchers are giving you opportunities to win games. And as this lineup gets healthier, it's going to be fine. That's the basic point here today. Fernando Tatis Jr. bouncing back from an 0-for-5 has 3 hits today. Luis Arraez yesterday, a hit and a sac fly in his return. Today has 2 hits. Like, they're getting healthier. The starting pitching and the bullpen have been terrific so far this year. They're 5-0, to your point from earlier, against the NL West. They've never done that in franchise history. They've never started 5-0 against their division. And for a brief moment, they're slightly ahead of the Giants in the standings. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is what I'm seeing with my eyes and looking at their overall record. They're 19-11. It might not be the 98 Padres. I don't know where they were at this point, but there's not a lot of 19-11 starts, Jim, in the history of this franchise. We've been covering this team for forever. They don't get off to great starts always. They've had some slow starts, including last year under Mike Schill. This is a much better start this year than the start they got off to last year. Now, we don't know about the finish. Right. Finish last year was terrific, but this start, it's not perfect. I agree. It's not perfect, but this is a very, very good start overall.
Fantastic start. 19-11 would have signed up for that in a millisecond.
Yeah.
Just looking at today's game, it's exactly how you would draw it up as far as the pitching goes. King goes into the 6th, gives up only 1 earned run. Bullpen, a little shaky for their standards.
Same thing yesterday too, right?
Yes. Giants are a pesky team. They're not a team that's going to.
They're good.
Yeah, they're good. They're a good baseball team for sure. Estrada, Morjon, Adams, Suarez get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you draw it up. And then you look at today, the offense, 4 for 8 with runners in scoring position. You get contributions from the bottom of your lineup. Elias Diaz had 2 hits today. Go get a lottery ticket.
Right.
Tyler Wade has been fantastic for this club. Didn't think I would say that start of the season. He had an RBI single today. Jose Iglesias had an RBI single. Tatis, Arraez, Machado, they combined today to go 6 for 12 at the plate with 2 RBI, 2 runs scored. Xander reverted back to Xander, but still put up 5.
I'm not even worried about that.
When you win these games and put up 5 runs on the board and have your ace out there and the pitching that they have, like, hey man, great 2-game series, great bounce back. You love to see this type of bounce back from this team. Continue from last year when they were, they would have 5-game losing streaks and they immediately turn around and they play great baseball.
I go back to what I said, maybe it was last night on the wrap-up show, and it has not been perfect, but if they were going to, bless you, if they were going to sweep the Giants, then I was going to come on the air and say, everything's all good because you will have a 4-game losing streak in a season. And they just went through it and they didn't look good in the process. That's a fair statement. But if you can bounce back like this, they didn't just sweep a 2-game series from the Rockies. They beat a good team and they did it at home. And I feel really good about where they are. Now, they still need to get Jackson Merrill healthy. We need to see what he looks like when he gets back out there. They need to hopefully play well on the road. They haven't been great on the road this year. That's a fair statement. They haven't been great there. But they're going to miss Paul Skeens. The Rockies are on this trip. I think they got a decent opportunity in front of them. With Merrill coming back, with Cronenworth hopefully coming back for Colorado. We'll talk to Kevin Acee at 5 p.m. I feel like they got a decent shot to play decent baseball moving forward on the road. And again, 4-game losing streak. Yes, it happened, but to bounce back and win these 2 games, for me, a lot of it is water under the bridge right now, the 4-game losing streak.
Yeah, because you bounce back and you play immediately good baseball. Now you got to have a good road trip here. Like you lose a series in Pittsburgh, and if you lose a series in New York, and then you lose a series in Colorado, then
sell the team.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be good.
Not only sell the team, move the franchise.
That's right.
Go to Tampa or wherever.
Well, they need a stadium, but yeah,
I know. But if you can have a good road trip here, yes, the 4-game losing streak is definitely water under the bridge. The losing 8 of 11 is water under the bridge. This is what good teams do.
Mm-hmm.
And while it's not fun to go through the stretch they went through, believe me, not fun. It's nice to see how they respond after that type of stretch. Now, it's a small sample size. It's just 2 games. They could have an awful road trip. And then if you couple in the losing 8 of 11, plus potentially if they have an awful road trip, then the 2 games here against the Giants won't look like much. But if they take these 2 games that they just played really, really, really good baseball in and parlay it into a 6-3 road trip, then yes, they bounce back. They showed resiliency. They showed all the traits and characteristics of a Mike Schilt baseball team that they're just winners that find solutions.
Winners find solutions. We'll hear from Schilt coming up shortly, by the way. Kevin Acee at 5 p.m. But not just, you made a good point. 6 for 12, Toddy, Arise, Machado. And they're going to rely heavily, right? And Merrill this year. We've talked about that.
Yep.
But all 3 of those players this series had 3 hits. Toddy had them today. Arise 1 yesterday, 2 today. Machado 2 yesterday, 1 today. Really encouraging. Yes, Machado had a 10-game stretch where he didn't play well. That's a factual statement. But we both said Machado will get there. Had an encouraging series. The Arise bounce back, because we didn't know. We're like, is he coming back after a week? What's he going to look like? Yeah. It's Luis Arise, folks. He's likely going to hit 300 this year. It's just who he's been. And he's looked good by and large these first couple of days. And now the off day. And they go to Pittsburgh. You taking 5 and 4, Jim? Pittsburgh, New York, Colorado. You just sign that.
I think I have to see how the 5 and 4, panned out.
24 and 15 coming home.
Sounds nice.
24 and 15
sounds nice. But what if?
I'm listening.
What if
they start 5 and 0 and then lose the last game at Yankee Stadium and get swept in Colorado?
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't forecast it that way, but you're right. That wouldn't be as good as winning a series against the Pirates 2-1, winning a series against the Rockies 2-1. I know they're awful. Maybe you can do better, but it's still Coors Field. That's 4 and 2, and then you'd be 1 and 2 at Yankee Stadium. That's 5 and 4.
If that's how it happens, I guess I would take it. But when you look at Pittsburgh and Colorado here coming up in this road trip, yeah, winning those series against bad teams, like you want to do that. You want to take advantage. Yankee Stadium, you're going to get the boost of Jackson Merrill back.
Yes.
So that is going to be a huge boost for this team in that clubhouse, for their lineup, everything. Just having Jackson Merrill back is so important for this club to win.
Agreed.
And it would be nice if they got a little hot streak here and they took these 2 games against the Giants and they parlayed it into a really good road trip. And another thing too that I liked about this series from the Padres perspective is Schilt managed it beautifully from this sense.
I'm listening because I'm curious to know where you're going here. Because I thought you were joking and say like Mike Schilt's a better manager because they just won the last 2 games.
Oh, no. Not because he was able to put Larissa Rise back in the lineup, and
or that they scored runs.
runs. Yeah. Oh,
right.
I'm amazing. It's that you had an off day on Monday and you have an off day tomorrow. And he unloaded the clip of the bullpen. Now, it also helps when your starters can give you some length, but the entire series, he used Robert Suarez last night. He used Robert Suarez today. He used Jason Adam last night. He used Jason Adam today. He used Jeremiah Estrada last night. He used Jeremiah Estrada today.
That's a great point.
Did he use Morejon last night? I want to say
I think he did. Did he not? I thought Morejon was on the mound yesterday. Is my mind fooling me?
So
yeah,
the last two games, knowing you had an off day on Monday, everyone's rested. You have an off day tomorrow, everyone will get rested for the road trip. Estrada, Morejon, Adam Suarez, that's their A team in their bullpen. And once they got a lead, deploy the A team and just unload the clip there for these two games and really go for it and push it if you had the lead.
Yeah, go against the Mariners' strategy of just win 54% of the time. No, just win.
Yeah.
When you win 100% of the time, which is what they did against the Giants. We will hear from Mike Schild on the other side. The wrap is ahead, but extended postgame reaction here on Jon and Jim. Padres sweep the Giants. They win today, 5-3 down at Petco. This is Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Padres beat the Giants today. Quick 2-game series. They swept them. They won 5-3 today. Padres will now have an off day tomorrow before they start a 9-game road trip through Pittsburgh, New York, and Colorado. NBA action tonight. Rockets Warriors tip off in a half hour from now in Houston. Warriors are looking to close out the Rockets and move over to the second round of the postseason. Lakers, Timberwolves tonight, 7 p.m. Lakers are trying to beat Timberwolves to advance or move on to game 6 in this series. Timberwolves are looking to close out the Lakers, move on to the second round. Tip times at 7 p.m. Listen right here to that game on San Diego Sports 760. And tonight at 6 p.m. before the Lakers game, you can listen to SDFC Midweek Live, 1 full hour of SDFC talk right here on San Diego Sports 760. For victims of drunk driving and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim hotline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of Jon and Jim. We are reacting to a Padres series sweep of the Giants down at Petco. They won this afternoon 5-3. They sweep this short 2-game series, and Kevin Acee will join us in 1 hour. We will hear from Mike Schilt, hopefully momentarily, when he speaks to the media as this game just ended. Can I disagree with Darnay Tripp? Can we play this actually? Do we want to pause this and play it, or how are you going to play this back? Okay, you're rolling on it. So we'll hear from Mike Schilt in 5 minutes. Can I disagree with Darnay, Jim?
Go ahead.
Darnay, are you listening?
I'm gonna text him right now.
Yeah, text him and say John's ripping into you right now on air.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So give your rant.
Okay, so here's my rant. So Darnay posts on Twitter, and I know he's being facetious and funny because Jim told me whatever this means. He posted this photo of someone. I don't even get this photo, but he said, I wish the Padres were seeing Paul Skeens this weekend. And he posted a photo as if to say he knows that his take is not what most people say. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, that's right.
Explain that. Explain this photo.
No, you got it right.
So he says, I wish the Padres were seeing Paul Skeens this weekend, but his point is he gets that most people disagree with that, right?
Like nobody is saying they wish they see Paul Skeens this weekend, except for Darnay.
All right, so I'm not really ripping into him because he's basically agreeing with what I'm saying.
No, rip him. Do it.
But I've never been a fan that's like, to be the best, I have to beat the best. And I'll give you an example. I'll give you a perfect example. I mean, the Padres-Dodgers rivalry has been a really good one this decade. It's been awesome. Regular season and postseason. It's been really good, right? Mm-hmm. Would you be overly concerned if the Padres won a World Series and didn't go through the Dodgers? If the Dodgers got beat by the Phillies in the NLDS and then the Padres beat the Phillies in the NLCS, then the Padres beat the Yankees in the World Series, you'd be like, well, they won the World Series, but they didn't face the Dodgers. Man.
Nobody would care.
Right. So, I mean, you're playing the Pirates. Who cares if you're facing Paul Skeens on Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV or not? I mean, just beat the Pirates. Do you really need to see Paul Skeens this weekend, Padres fans? You want to see that electric fastball? Want to see that former Air Force pitcher, former top overall pick in the draft?
No.
The NL Rookie of the Year from 2024. You want to see that firsthand, Jim? Is that something you'd be excited to see? For me, I don't. I'd rather just see the Padres win against the Pirates.
No, I don't want to see that. Do you think anybody was saying for the start of the Braves and Padres wild card series last year, man, I really want to see Chris Sale, the eventual NL Cy Young Award winner, pitching in that series? No,
he was out with what, back spasms?
Series. He missed the series.
He was like 18-2 last year.
He was incredible.
Yeah.
Nobody is saying, man, I want to see that. No,
that's different than me saying I'm not rooting for injuries. If they happen, they happen. Mm-hmm. But I'm not rooting for injuries. But this has nothing to do with even health. In a rotation, you miss 2 out of 5 every single series.
If it lined up, it would have lined up, and I would have been, okay, let's go.
Now, I think last year they did play Pittsburgh 2 series when Skeens was active or in the major leagues. They missed him both times. And now this is the 3rd series since he's been in the major leagues that they'll miss him, and they'll play him one more time this year. They may or may not miss him. And I know he's joking. I really do. I'm not being serious, but I'm just telling you from a fan perspective, I much prefer to see my team win than to see the opposing team's stars. I hate when I hate when sports are marketed like, hey, come see this superstar at our stadium. Come see Mookie Betts in San Diego. No, come see the Padres in San Diego.
Yep.
That's how I like when things are. Now, with someone like Messi, I get it. You're going to market Lionel Messi in Major League Soccer. I'm sure that scene would be unbelievable, but the scene's already been good. And say they don't need Lionel Messi to come to San Diego for SDFC to be relevant. You know, they're going to be relevant and they're going to sell tickets even if Messi doesn't show up.
How many times over the last, 15 years did the Padres have to market like, oh, come watch the Dodgers come to town?
And how many times did you hear the criticisms of the Chargers in the 2010s that they would market their franchise to opposing fans, right? Like Steelers will be here. It's cold in Pittsburgh. Come on out this November and see the Steelers in sunny Southern California. So, whatever. Will they face Paul Skeens at some point? They will. Like in his career, he will face the San Diego Padres.
Probably.
Unless his career is about to end, he'll face the San Diego Padres.
And he'll face the Padres either on the Pittsburgh Pirates or the LA Dodgers.
Right, exactly.
Like, he's going to face the Padres one way or the other.
Exactly.
Why is Schilt still talking?
Well, I cannot wait to hear what he has to say because last night, I wish we put that in the rundown earlier. I don't know how we didn't. He just happened to mention that Tony Gwynn had like the best stats ever. He's like, it was Tony Gwynn night. And I looked up at the scoreboard and they showed the stats. Oh my gosh.
Nintendo.
They're like Nintendo stats. We know. He was really good.
Schilt was trying to be funny.
It didn't go over great.
It didn't really land that well, but it's a classic Schilteism, classic Schilt press conference where, he walks in there chest held high because his team just, had a really good game. Xander Bogaerts, a guy that has been criticized in town, had the game of his season. So he is feeling himself like, told you guys, I told you so. And so last night was a classic Schilt presser, topped off with the Tony Gwynn stuff. It was like, what are we doing?
He was on one. They snapped the 4-game losing streak. They get a little healthier. You're right. He started his press conference last night with just 4 uninterrupted minutes. And talking about silver sluggers and 2-time like Xander's got 2 rings and this guy's got 5 silver sluggers. I'm like, Mike, it's one game. Like, let's all relax. But we will hear from Mike Schilt shortly.
Yeah.
As the Padres will hop on a plane for Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They'll open that series Friday night at PNC Park against the Pirates, game 1 of a 3-game series. By the way, I see in the chat on YouTube, and we'd love to have you join us on YouTube. We're there each and every day. Just search for Jon and Jim 760. I see there's some pushback. People saying they want to see Tatis for Skeens. Listen, I understand it, but would you rather see Tatis for Skeens, or would you rather see the Padres win? Not that they're guaranteed to lose if they face Skeens, but would you want to see Tatis? If Tatis hits a home run Friday night off someone other than Paul Skeens, is that going to feel different? Like, man, he hit a nuke, but it was off. I don't even know who starts for the Pirates.
They all count the same. Now, there are instances where teams, pad their stats a little bit if it's like a 15-2 game and then a position player comes in there and a guy hits a 3-run bomb.
That's
off
a little
him.
different.
A little different.
The Ohtani game in Miami.
That's kind of what I was referring to.
Yeah.
But still, if you hit a home run off of a reliever you never heard of or Paul Skeens, like it still counts the same.
That's how I see it. How long is this, Brent? This sound? It's about 5 minutes. Let's play. This is Mike Schilt. Does this start with Michael King? Would be my guess. His reaction to Michael King. That's our guess here. This is Mike Schilt post game as the Padres beat the Giants.
Yeah, it's the recipe. It's one of the recipes. We have a lot of them that gets us to the end, but that's the one that we feel good about. Complete game, well played, all phases. It starts on the mound with Michael. I thought he was really good again. Threw the ball exceptionally well. Offense did their part. I'm sure we'll have some thoughts about that, but could have been more pleased with the approaches throughout the lineup. And bullpen was really good again. Suarez gets to have a little jam there, goes back out. Morejon comes in, finishes that inning out. Jason had him, hat off to him, and Jason Hayward, by the way. What a play. That was a huge play, but got a guy on 3-0 count. Made 3 quality pitches in a row. Jason, made a great play in the left and was able to get Chapman, and Suarez came in and threw the ball extremely well also.
But you don't talk results, really. Your process for you. And this series sort of shows kind of the long season. A couple days ago, what's the matter with the Padres? And now I'm talking about from the outside, not for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Not for you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you feel like that like this, I mean, this was the team that you knew you had all along?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I know the body of work is, has spoken, it speaks for itself, but will continue to speak. We don't take anything for granted, but we also know who we are, how we play. The game is challenging, and, we play it really well. Played it in really good all phases of the game. We pitched really well this series. We played really good defense. I mean, Manny, 2+ plays. We mentioned Hayward's play. Did a nice job controlling the running game. Had tremendous at-bats and approaches throughout. I mean, there wasn't a throwaway at-bat the whole series. Guys were grinding their tails off. And, we're in the bases smart. Sheets' ability to get a good jump on that ball that was topped by Iglesias and beats that force, sets up Wadey for the first RBI. So there's a lot of real positive things that take place that end up giving you the best chance to shake hands into the game. And this club knows what that looks like.
I know you said you wanted your hashtag to be beat everybody, but this was a test against a division rival that was ahead of you in the standing coming into play. Like, what do you make of the way your guys kind of rose to that test this week?
Yeah, these guys are, they're going to rise to, regardless of team, regardless of location, venue, hot, cold, day game, night game. This club's going to post, and they're going to post with preparation and real strong desire to compete and play together to give us our absolute best shot to win a ball game every single time we take the field.
The defense today, specifically the throw from Manny and the play from Jason, like, pretty outstanding. What do you think?
Gosh darn. Manny in the second, then the big play in the sixth, leaves his feet, and is in a compromised position, to throw, but it's Manny Machado, so yeah, he's in a compromised position, but he also has elite arm talent, as good as anybody in the world, and body control, and he's a baseball player that figures it out. It's a big play. And Jason's play in the seventh, I mean, balls with a left-handed hitter could be tailing away from him. He's covering a ton of ground. I mean, he was covering a ton of ground, and to be able to lay out and you got to want that ball, and he was on a mission to catch it, and that's what winning players do.
Do you have any updates on the guys in Arizona, Lockridge and Merrill, and their progression, and also maybe when Jake might join them?
Jake, I don't know if he's going to join them. Those guys are all on 3 different plans. Locke and Jackson are pretty close to the same plan relative to where they are in their rehab, and they're at the good side of it. They're towards the finish line of it. Locke played back-to-back games in Arizona at the complex on Monday and Tuesday. I think I've got my days right. And then Jackson played last night with Locke Tuesday. And they both got 6 at-bats. Locke swung the bat well, played left. Jackson played center. Locke got a bag and won the 2 games. Jackson hit a triple. And then he hit a double, and everybody in the dugout yelling him to go for 3. And I'm watching the video of it, like, please do not try that right now. And he stopped at second. So, but yeah, they're progressing. Jake's with us now, and he's going to head to Arizona today to get some work in as well.
So you say toward the finish line. Is that the finish line potentially the early part of this road trip?
We're still evaluating. Again, it's where they are in their progressions. They're not all on equal footing, but they're all close to where they're at. And I do expect, things being equal and the recovery still taking place, AJ, that, we'll see them, some version of 1 or 2 of them, early in the road trip, Pittsburgh, and then possibly New York on the second side of it.
All right, we're going to react to that on the other side. Padres getting healthier, sweeping through the Giants. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, will join us at 5 p.m. Don't go anywhere. Jon and Jim. back. Kevin Acey, our Padres Insider, coming up at 5 p.m. Padres sweep the Giants. They win today at Petco 5-3. We just heard Jim from Mike Schill, who had some updates on the health of his team. He said both Jackson Merrill and Brandon Lockridge are towards the finish line. You know, towards the finish line, like in a race.
I mean, I'm like the 5-yard line, the 10-yard line. Like, where are we at here, football terminology wise?
Good question. Somewhere between the 5 and the 10.
Are they at the goal line?
What down is it?
Right. Is it 4th and goal?
Or is it first and goal? Right.
Are we going to hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch? Are we going to throw it?
We're going to throw it. You're right. So they're towards the finish line. Jake Cronenworth is heading to the team's spring training complex today for live ABs. It was Kevin Acey that reported earlier today in the UT that they're targeting a Monday return for Jackson Merrill and a next weekend return for Jake Cronenworth in Colorado on the trip. So we'll catch up with Kevin at 5 p.m. But Merrill, he's just so non-committal because they've been burned. That's what I think is playing out.
100%.
Because they've said so many things about day to day, week to week, this day. And he's mentioned this a couple times in the last week or two, like how they've been burned on like diagnoses, if that's even a word.
Diagnoses.
Yeah. I think. So he's been kind of non-committal, I guess, with Merrill, who is towards the finish line.
Saw him running the bases the other day in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
He was also playing the outfield as well. Yeah, this hamstring injury was definitely not a little type of injury. It wasn't a little ouchie.
No, it wasn't.
It was kind of like a major ouchie. So making sure you are 100% confident that he is ready to go and he has passed all the tests that he needs to pass before he gets back on the field in the lineup is of the utmost importance. It also helps that guys like Jackson and Jake will be making their returns in ballparks that are very hitter friendly.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. Like
Yeah,
if I were to make my return, I would choose probably Coors or
Yankee Stadium,
right? Or Cincinnati. So, Bandbox. If it's not going to be at home, I'll choose one of those ballparks. And they're going to be returning most likely. We'll see. They're towards the finish line. In New York and or Colorado. I'm more confident with Jackson Merrill returning in New York than I am with Jake returning in Colorado, because having a bone heal, that could take a while. Now the hammy also is a tricky thing and could linger and nag at you. But hey, kid's 22 years old. I'm sure he heals faster than most. And
they got to get him back.
Yeah.
I mean, so between games, he'll be at 29 days. His last game was April 6th. If he comes back Monday in New York, it'll be May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. That'll be 29 days. He only played 10 games. What's the record right now? They've played 30.
19-11.
So they've played 30 plus 3 more coming in Pittsburgh. He'll have missed 23 games. His max for the season would be under 140 games. If he played every game other than this stint, he would play 139 times this year. Hopefully that plays out. I mean, that would be a huge win at this point.
They're 11-9 without him.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad at all. That's 550. 11-9 is 550. That's not bad at all.
And he was on such a tear too, where you're like 30 plus home runs. Like, what's the ceiling for this kid?
That's a good point. That's now going to be tough. That 100 RBI type threshold in 139 games. I mean, that would be incredible. Or 30 home runs in 139 games. That's a huge total.
Well, think about it this way. When he comes back for not playing for nearly a month, he will already in this lineup have more home runs than Xander and Manny, not combined, but the total of home runs, which is it's 3 for Jackson Merrill, is the same number of home runs total for Manny and Xander at this point in time. And by the way, he also had 10 RBI in 10 games for the Padres. Manny has 13. So we know Manny is going to get to around 85, 95.
Yeah, I agree.
And when Jackson returns here, he'll be returning with 3 homers and 10 RBIs under his belt already.
Yeah, that is kind of incredible because we have mentioned the fact that since the 14-3 start, they have really lacked power as a team. Now, we've seen like random home runs. Elias Diaz has hit a pair of them.
The most random home runs, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would call Xander Bogaerts home run a random home
Very
run.
random.
He hadn't hit one all year,
Yep.
and he hits one down the left field line. I think they said 350. I don't buy it. They need his power is the point, because Tatis today, 3 for 3, but like when Tatis doesn't hit home runs, who hits home runs? because he's your guy. I mean, he could absolutely hit 38 plus home runs. We almost expect it if he stays healthy, Fernando Tatis Jr. But is anyone going to hit 30 other than Tatis? We think Machado gets there because we just know that he gets there. But he may not get to 30. And Merrill, who misses 23 games, I mean, that seems unlikely that he would hit 30 home runs. He didn't do it last year as a rookie.
We know Manny.
He'll get close.
He'll have a month where he hits 7 or 8 home runs.
Yep.
And then the other 4 months combined, he'll have like 16.
What's his low in a full season here? I'm looking that up. His low homer
28?
total is 28.
Yeah. So he'll have a month.
His high is 32.
Yeah. And that's the range he gets in.
That's crazy.
28 and 32. He just always
He's like the weather
there.
on the coast, man. It's 67 every day to 71.
Exactly. Yeah.
Seriously, isn't it?
I know. It's just as consistent as they come. He will get his numbers. He'll have a hot month, and most likely that hot month will happen in the middle of the season, either, end of June, July, or August, right? He'll have a hot month. He'll have 7 to 8 home runs in that month. And then every other month after, if you combine every other month, there'll be like 16, 18 home runs total. And then he'll have a month where he just explodes that will get him to around his averages.
Do you know how many RBIs he's averaged since COVID? The last 4 full seasons for Manny? Yeah.
Did you do the
I
math?
did in my head, and I think it's right.
88.
101. Because listen to this, Jim. He's gone 106, 102, 91, 105. He's had 3 100 RBI seasons in his last 4. And now he's going to have to do work to get to 100.
But he will.
But he will. I'm with you. It's amazing how he does it. You're right. We're going to look up 29 home runs, the 99 RBIs or something like it.
That's when Jackson Merrill returns. He has the opportunity now to only play like 130 games max.
Yeah.
Like you said.
139.
139.
Yeah.
But it won't be all 139. He'll get some days off.
I agree.
Maybe. We know Jackson. If he's healthy, he's out there.
Mm-hmm.
He continues the pace he was before he left. Like
he's still maybe at 30.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine. I agree. All right, we'll get to the wrap on the other side. We'll hear from Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, at 5 p.m. We've got you covered as the Padres sweep the Giants down at Petco. This is Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by the San Diego Rescue Mission. Padres finish off the sweep today of the Giants as they beat them 5-3. Padres have an off day tomorrow before they start a 9-game road trip through Pittsburgh, New York, and Colorado. NBA playoff action tonight. We're moments away from tip-off in Houston. Rockets and Warriors game 5. Warriors have a 3-1 series lead. And then later tonight, Lakers and Timberwolves tips off at 7 p.m. Timberwolves have a 3-1 series lead there. You can listen to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. And before the Lakers game, listen to SDFC Midweek Live, 1 full hour of SDFC talk right here on your home of SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. Our neighbors experiencing homelessness need hope now more than ever. Give them life-changing help with a generous gift to the San Diego Rescue Mission. Your donation at sdrescue.org will be matched up to $150,000. Help people get off the streets permanently. Give at sdrescue.org.
All right, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Acee from down at Petco will join us in about 28 minutes at 5 p.m. Padres over the Giants today, 5-3. Was that the final?
That was the final, John.
That was the final.
Yeah.
So they won 5-3 today. And they will be in Pittsburgh. And that series will begin on Friday afternoon here in San Diego. They will not face Paul Skeens, as we've been talking about. They're not scheduled to face Paul Skeens. Man.
Darn it.
Shucks.
Dang it. Baloney. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, this is my one question before we get to the wrap. There you go, malarkey. Would you rather lose to Paul Skeens? And I know that's defeatist because they could beat Paul Skeens. Obviously, the Pirates are 11-19. Would you rather lose to Paul Skeens or beat some rando? I'd rather beat some rando is the overall point that I've been trying to make, but some people disagree with that. All right, Kevin Acee at 5 p.m. right now. Let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap, presented by Sombrero Mexican Food.
For anybody out there that's like, LeBron is the GOAT. Okay. You know, LeBron is trying to do and accomplish what Michael Jordan did in 13 years, and LeBron's in year 22. So, yes. Does he have the most points scored in the league? Yes. Does he have the most points scored in playoff history? Yes. That has to do with him playing for a long time. But the accomplishments that matter the most to LeBron is championships. He is still chasing Michael Jordan, and it took Michael 13 years to accomplish what LeBron is trying to chase in year 22.
LeBron has 5?
LeBron has only 4.
Oh, there's no scenario where he gets 6. None.
Right.
There's no world. He's not going to get 5.
Right. So, again, if your argument for why LeBron is the greatest of all time is because he has the most points in league history, go for it. Use that argument. But then when someone comes back at you, says, all right, championships, MVPs, finals MVPs, scoring titles, everything. Jordan accomplished all that in 13 years.
And was 6-0 in the finals.
And LeBron is in year 22 still chasing those numbers.
I mean, 6-0 in the finals speaks for itself. LeBron's like 4-100 in the final. I don't know what he is, 4-6, 4-7. Next question.
Will Shedeur Sanders ever be a franchise quarterback?
I don't know. I mean, he's a 5th round draft pick. Now, 7th round draft picks have been franchise quarterbacks. 3rd round draft picks have been franchise quarterbacks. Undrafted quarterbacks have been franchise quarterbacks.
But none of them in Cleveland. Not to say he'll spend his career in Cleveland.
Right. No. Let's be real here. He has gone to where quarterbacks go to die. So if Shedeur overcomes that,
he's like the best quarterback ever.
The Hall of Famer.
Dude, if he starts there for 11 seasons and takes the Browns to the postseason 7 times,
they'll retire
and 2
number.
AFC title games.
And it will actually be deserved this time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a really high bar. I do like Shedeur Sanders a lot. I think he's a very good player. I think he has a lot to prove in the NFL. Franchise quarterback that's a tough ask, but we're going to see him. I don't think it's like, hey, he's going to be in the NFL for a cup of coffee. I think we'll have his opportunities in the NFL. Next question.
Would you rather have Paul Skeens or Jackson Merrill?
You wrote this question, didn't you?
I wrote all the questions.
Are you serious right now?
Be honest, Jim.
Not going there, dude. I love Jackson Merrill. I'm sticking with Jackson Merrill. Paul Skeens is pretty sweet though. But
you're not going to take the future anchor to a rotation for a decade that could win 175 games and pitch in World Series games, not with the Pirates and all that. You're not buying the hype.
I'll take Jackson Merrill. Take Paul Skeens. Do it. I dare you.
I'm taking Jackson Merrill. Next question.
What letter grade would you give the Padres through the first month?
I would give them an A-.
Okay.
A- only because of their 3-8 stretch in 11 games.
I'll give them an A-.
I'll give them an A. Yeah.
I agree with you. What was the time that Jim's like, I give him an F-, not an F+. And we're like, wait, no, that doesn't even make any sense.
Because there's nothing below an F.
Yeah, whatever you said didn't make sense. I think A- is fair because they're 19 and 11. I wouldn't have any gripes with someone that said A, but truthfully, they could probably, if they avoided some of the injuries and if they didn't have that 3-8, I guess there is a world where they're 20 and 10, right? 21 and 9. But man, look up in this division, right? Dodgers, I think, are 20 and 10, Jim, or 21 and 10, or 21 and 9. And the Padres now are 19 and 11, and the Giants are 19 and 12. It's going to be super competitive. The fact that they're 5-0 in the division, as you touched on earlier, I know 3 are against the Rockies. That's such a small sample size, 5 games, but that's encouraging too. I would have taken it. I really would have. If someone told me a month ago, 19-11.
Everybody would have taken it.
That's why it's probably an A. If everyone would have taken it, it's probably an A.
Yeah.
If everyone would have taken it.
I just am looking at the stretch where they had, and they're just bad games. I can't give them a
full A.
Full A. They got to be docked at least 1
half, right? Like a half grade
for that 3-8 stretch.
Yeah, I agree.
But hey,
I do.
If I was still in school, someone gets
take that A-.
I get an A- on anything. I'm putting that on the refrigerator.
Did you get A's in anything like letter grades? I don't see you really getting A's.
That's a good question.
You graduated high school?
I did.
You finished off those grades and those numbers like 12th?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. What was your best subject?
Ooh, it's a good question. I don't think I had a best subject, John.
Did you have a worst subject?
Can I do all of the above?
Did you? I can't see you really doing any of the classes.
No, I didn't.
Math, science.
I avoided math.
English. That is proven to be very challenging here on San Diego Sports 760. Were you good at recess, gym?
Oh, I was very good at gym.
Love those.
Yeah, gym was good.
Lunch.
I was good at lunch.
You're good at that.
What else was I good at?
Did your mom come down on you for not being?
I know what I was really good at.
What?
Culinary.
I can see that.
Yeah, my mom was a teacher too.
In school?
You didn't know that?
No. Your mom taught in your high school?
Yeah.
Your mom was a high school culinary teacher?
Yes.
She isn't now, is she?
No, not right now. She has her own business now.
She was a culinary teacher for how long?
12 years.
And for the 4 years you were in high school, your mom taught at high school?
Not for the 4 years, but for 2 years she was a teacher, and then all 4 years for my brother in high school.
Was that cool, or was it cool to have your mom as a teacher? Or not?
Yeah,
cool?
no, it was cool. The only time it wasn't cool was when I would get in trouble, and then it was very easy for my mom to find out what I got in trouble for.
Yeah, but she worked at the school.
I couldn't hide anything.
Yeah, she could go to the principal or.
But that was an easy A. Tell you that.
Culinary?
Yeah, that was very easy.
So there's your best subject.
I was like, Mom, if you don't give me an A, so what are you going to do?
That's
Nothing.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it was a good course. I actually enjoyed that a lot, even though my mom was a teacher.
I can see that.
And every day during recesses, we would go to the culinary room, me and my friends, and we would hang out in the culinary room and
eat,
make food.
Yeah, sounds good.
And eat food and store our lunches in the culinary room, and then we'd make quesadillas and tacos for lunch and pizza, and it was awesome.
This sounds very much like you, but as a 16-year-old.
Exactly, yeah. And the culinary room was right next to the basketball courts. So
just making tacos and shooting hoops.
Yeah.
Basically.
Just hanging out.
Now you know what Jim did when he was 16 years old.
And then one day, Guy Fieri came into our class and taught us how to our knife skills. It was cool.
Don't bring him in here. I don't want to see the knife skills in here.
Okay.
What letter grade do you give the Padres through 30 games? 1911 heading to May. 877-767-4760 or text us. 70470. Start it with the word team. Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. He'll join us at 5 p.m. on Jon and Jim. All right, our Padres insider is Kevin Acee. He will join us coming up in about 15 minutes at 5 p.m. from down at Petco Park, where the Padres completed that sweep of the San Francisco Giants. Like, it's just so easy to say, oh, they won a 2-game series. I mean, the Giants came in red hot, among the best teams in baseball, and the Padres handled them. winning each of these 2 games behind both Nick Pivetta and Michael King, and now they're off for Pittsburgh, where they'll play on Friday. So we'll catch up with Kevin Acey. But yeah, it's one thing to sweep a 2-game series. It's another thing to do it against a rival and a team that was playing as well as San Francisco was playing coming in. So all sweeps are good. This is a better sweep because it's against a good team.
What I love the most about this series from the Padres perspective is that they got back to doing what they were doing at the start of the season in that 14-3 stretch. Timely hitting, putting runs up on the board, scoring in multiple innings, not just like one inning where they score. I mean, today or last night, they scored in the first, the fourth, and the seventh, multiple runs in those innings. 3 runs in the first, 2 runs in the fourth, 2 runs in the seventh. And then you look at today, 5-3 win. You scored in the second, the third, the fifth, the sixth. Like, it's good.
It's good. Yeah.
And so I like that. And Schulte went for it. Like, Schulte said, all right, we got a lead. We're going for it this series. We're using 4 relievers. That's
I love that because I was always so critical. Like, I go back a couple of years, like the Tingler era, what an era it was.
I don't want to think about that.
And they were like that 60-game season is like rest and bullpen. I'm like, it's a 60-game season,
like,
man.
go for it, bro.
Like, just go win these games. Like, what pace are we playing for? When you have leads late in games, that's got to be the priority. What do I need to do to hold those leads? And no need to get cute. I mean, there's a reason we pay Robert Suarez. There's a reason they pay Robert Suarez $10 million a year. He's going to have to pitch in high leverage situations. He's going to pitch back to backs. And if the Padres are going to be good, we're going to see a lot of Jason Adam and a lot of Robert Suarez and so on and so forth. I'm with you there. Like, no need to get cute. Oh, well, we have a 4-1 lead. Maybe we can hide a reliever here. No hiding relievers. 3 or 4 run game. I want to see the Morahones and the Estradas and the Adams and the Suarez every single time they're available. I want to see those pitchers. Sorry. You're gonna run him into the ground, John. Well, I mean, you can't predict someone's health. It's not like if Suarez sits for an extra day, you can keep him healthy. Or if you sit Jason Adam for you just gotta play. When you got a lead, you gotta do everything in your power to preserve the leads. And their bullpen's been awesome. It's a big reason why they're 19-11.
I think it's
the reason why.
One of the main reasons why. Because they have been so consistent. And when you have such a dynamite lockdown, lights out bullpen like they do, you can shorten the games, and you get a lead after 5. Boom, you're going to your top 8 team. Morahone, Estrada, Adam, Suarez, and some combination. Obviously, Suarez is getting the 9th, and Suarez has been perfect this year, like literally perfect. And hopefully he can continue that because he was like this last year too. The first,
I remember
that he was an all-star. He was pitching at a historic level as far as closers go. And then he just kind of lost it late in the year. But then he did pick it up in the postseason. It was a very brief stint in the postseason. I think he had like 2 outings in the postseason.
Yeah, maybe.
1 in the Dodger series, 1 in the Brave series.
Right.
Maybe 2 in the Brave series. I forget. But yeah, you have a dominant closer like Robert Suarez mixed in with dominant other relievers who could easily be closers. Estrada and Adam could easily be closers in this league, and they will be closers in this league one day, especially Jeremiah Estrada. But right now on this team, Jeremiah Estrada is pitching the 7th, not the 9th.
Right.
And that just makes it so difficult for opposing teams to come back in games, especially if they're trailing by multiple runs. 1 run, the things can happen. Today, Adam gave up a home run. Estrada gave up a home run. First, I think, home runs they've allowed all year, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe.
And those aren't going to happen. But when you have big leads like they did today, you can give up a solo shot here and there.
Yeah, I was trying to find the record real quick of, like you mentioned, like with a lead after 5 innings, they have this elite bullpen, and you're spot on. And I'm just wondering, have they blown a lead this year when leading after 5 innings? They're 12-0 when they've led after 6. They're 16-0 when leading after 7. They're 17-0 when leading after 8. And actually add 1 win to those numbers because of today. So they're 13-0. When they lead through 6 innings, they've been as good as you can be. They're 13-0. So the formula is the formula. Yeah, I mean, get a lead. They have the pieces. The pieces are in place for this to be a really good year. Simple as that. Now they got to go execute on that, but they absolutely have the pieces in place for this to be a really good year because you have the bullpen that can win you close games. You have good starting pitching, and you have a lineup that has been a little bit up and down, but I think the lineup, when healthy, is definitely good enough. With Merrill added to it, Toddy, Machado, Arise, I think the lineup's good enough with what they've built around it.
We've seen it already. We've seen the lineup already prove that they can be a top lineup in the sport. Just don't have any injuries.
Yeah, don't have any injuries. Yes, no, you're right. And they'll deal with them. All teams do. They're not invincible. They didn't look good for 10 games. It's true. They didn't. They were 3-8, and they looked really bad during the 4-game losing streak. And now they've looked pretty good the last 2 days. We'll see if they can continue that coming up in Pittsburgh. We have NBA playoff action underway. Houston trying to stave off elimination in Texas tonight and leading the Warriors, Jim. I don't know if you're watching this game. It is all Rockets early, 28-13.
Yeah, this game's over.
Is it actually? Oh my gosh, this game's over.
Yeah, so
Steph Curry turnover, right wing three. This is going in. It didn't. What's our theory here? I mean, the Warriors can just win the series in 6 at home. I mean, this isn't overly concerning, right? I mean,
you don't want to do that, though.
Out,
if you have an opportunity to close out a series, you close out that series.
I know. It's so true.
Because then guess what happens? What happens when you mess around? You find out.
And if you lose game 6, all of a sudden you're the underdog in game 7.
Yeah, if they don't close this out tonight, they have to close it out, obviously, game 6 or game 7. This one is going to be toast.
Just remember the Bucks were up by 20 at one point last night too, Jim.
Yeah, it's the NBA. Everyone makes a run.
True,
but this game's over.
But you can't go down by 30 in like the first quarter.
It's not a good look. No, it's
and also the Bucks were up by 20 yesterday, and they were on the road. It's much easier to come back from 20 at home than to come back from 20 on the road.
Shoot, the Bucks had a 7-point lead with 30 seconds left and lost that game. I mean, weird things do happen in the NBA. We'll keep you updated, even if Jim doesn't want us to keep you updated.
No, this one's over.
Rockets and Warriors from Houston. All right, in the 5 o'clock hour, again, Kevin AC, who's got his voice back, is down at Petco. He had some updates earlier today on a couple of players. It's 31-13. He said Jackson Merrill's expected to return on Monday. Now, Mike Schilt didn't say that postgame. He would not confirm that exact timetable. So we'll check in with Kevin on that timetable for Jackson Merrill. But in addition to Jackson Merrill, now there's Jay Cronenworth. And we thought, well, maybe the middle of May is when Cronenworth could return. But what Kevin wrote today in the UT is he could be back as soon as this Colorado series on the road. And that's only a week away. That's next weekend, not this weekend in Pittsburgh, but next weekend for the Padres in Colorado. So we'll get some updates on the health of the Padres. We'll recap a really good 2 games against the San Francisco Giants. We'll look ahead to the upcoming road trip. Kevin AC, our Padres insider, kicks off hour 4 of Jon and Jim next. All right, hey guys, it is Jon and Jim for the all-new Jamul Casino and Resort, the Players Place. We've been telling you about their endless dining. It's going on 5 nights a week. Their options are better than ever over at Tony Gwynn Sports Pub. They've gone over the top. Crab and shrimp and dynamite salmon and more. Plus, don't miss the carving station for those who like a little turf with their surf.
And join them for Sunset Trivia every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Compete for prizes at your favorite casino. Plus, enjoy 50% off classic sushi, nigiri, hand rolls, and any of their featured ramen bowls every Tuesday through Thursday. Now through May 23rd, exclusions do apply.
Here's the thing. You can catch all the sports action over at Tony Gwynn Sports Pub. We're talking about Padres baseball, NBA playoffs live, plus savory bites at Tony Gwynn's, where fandom meets fantastic. It's all available for you at the all-new Jamul Casino and Resort, the Players Place.
All right, this update is brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Padres, they sweep the Giants in a quick 2-game series, winning today 5-3. They have an off day tomorrow before they start a 9-game road trip through Pittsburgh, New York, and Colorado. Jackson Merrill and Jake Cronenworth expected to, well, hopefully they come off the IL and join the team during the road trip. Moving over to NBA action. This one is over. Houston and Golden State, Game 5. Warriors leading the series 3-1. Houston all over the Golden State 36-19 with 2:43 left in the first quarter. And then tonight, the nightcap, 7 p.m. tip time, Lakers and Timberwolves. Game 5 there. Timberwolves are looking to close out the Lakers as they have a 3-1 series lead. You can listen to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. And then SDFC Midweek Live starts at 6 p.m. tonight, 1 full hour of SDFC Talk. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim hotline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's Jon and Jim.
All right, final hour, Jon and Jim. Let's head back to Petco, where Kevin AC has been covering the Padres for this midweek series against the Giants. What a series it was for the Padres. They sweep through the Giants. They snapped that 4-game losing streak. They're heading into the month of May at 19-11 overall. Kevin, always appreciate you taking time for us. What changed? How did they do this? They were so anemic for those 4 or 5 games. I think 5 runs in 5 games. Offensively, they looked like a different team over the last 2 days.
Yeah, I don't see how it could be considered coincidence that Luis Ariz was back, and heck, credit to Jason Hayward, right?
Yeah.
I really do think there was a confidence boost. Now, obviously, we've been talking a lot about Xander Bogaerts. He had a big game the first night, so that was big. But I just really don't see how you get around that. First off, Luis Ariz reached base. Luis Ariz continued rallies multiple times in both games. So that was just big. Top of the order. They felt better. They played better.
One thing we were talking about, Kevin, is the fact that in a 2-game stretch here, you had an off day Monday, an off day tomorrow. Schilt really unloaded the clip in the bullpen. Like, he only used, 4 top guys. Now, granted, they had a lead every time, so it was easier to use them, but kind of just saying, all right, we're going for it in these 2 games here. I love that approach from Mike Schilt.
Well, sure. I think sometimes fans think that's what the schedule is all the time, right? Like, based on the emails I get, right? Like, wait, why didn't he use this guy? Well, he's pitched 3 days in a row, or, he's pitched 14 times in the last 20 days or whatever. And, this was perfect. Now, I would have asked Mike if he would prefer a schedule like this, but he would have just gone on to tell me how he loves all his relievers and he would like to use them. But the fact is, like you said, he only used these 4, and there was a reason. And as shaky as it was today, to some extent, they got the job done again. They were perfect last night after Jeremiah Estrada. It's a really good back end of the bullpen. You had your top 2 bullpens in baseball right now in this series. I thought it was a really well pitched series all the way through, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the starting pitching with Pivetta and King, and then the bullpen doing enough for the Padres the last 2 days. Now, you mentioned Xander, and what a sigh of relief, and what a big moment. I mean, he was a primary reason as to why they won yesterday. No doubt about it. 2-out single in the first that starts a 3-run rally, later adds on with the 2-run home run. Do you have any sense of what that meant for Xander? Like, do you feel that from him? I know he didn't have a hit here today, but like, what that felt like to finally have a breakthrough game after waiting for it all month long?
I'm pretty darn sure that it was bigger than he let on. And I also think that the whole series was pretty decent for him. He felt good today. I thought what I saw was the better swings. I know it was whatever it was, 0 for 4, and he struck out, but he hit the ball hard. That's not necessarily the most important thing. The swing just looks better. And since, these guys focus so much more on process than the rest of us, I do think it was like a big series for him. But the guy's kind of a mess, like in terms of he always fiddles a lot with
his stance, his swing, and when he's struggling, he's a prideful man. He's been one of the best hitters in baseball for a decade before coming here. He's tinkering a bit, and so I think it was big, and now we'll see.
What's the outlook here for Jackson Merrill returning in that Yankees series? Pretty good?
Yeah, right now it looks pretty good. All things are on track. I mean, right now, I think the sense that I have is like maybe Brandon Lockridge here in Pittsburgh, and he might be a day or something ahead of Merrill. And then, look, Merrill could push and surprise. Jackson Merrill's huge, man. There's the boost that was given the last couple of days. They would anticipate it would be even greater, right? They get back the guy who was, I don't want to say carrying them, because a lot of guys were actually doing pretty well for them to be 8-2 when Jackson went down. But Jackson, some pretty big hits, and is just his energy. Look, I haven't heard it ruled out that he would join, but in Pittsburgh. But the target is New York on Monday, and then the target is Jake Cronenworth on Friday in Colorado.
With Cronenworth specifically, I think you reported on this initially. So he had that non-displaced fracture, and it was going to be a little bit of a pain tolerance situation. Is that how it's still being described? Mm-hmm. That, it still has to, when you break a bone, you have to fully heal it. But if he's able to play with a bit of pain, then he's going to play. Because May 9th, that's not that much time that he's going to ultimately miss because of a fractured rib.
Right. 4 weeks, maybe a little bit more than 4 weeks, I think. And that's the minimum, right? But like 6 weeks probably healed, but 100%, I think. But he's going to come back before that, probably a flak jacket of some sort, since the only way that it could get re-injured, theoretically, that's what they think is for him to be hit there again. So look, when you watch him, it looks like he's ready to go. But obviously they got to be a little careful with a fractured rib, and you don't want it to happen again. But you watch him play. Heck, I watched him get interact with the Giants players, and I'm like, man, be careful. Guys patting him on the side and stuff. I think I think that he is as good as he says he is doing. He's itching to get back, and it like I said, it looks like what is today, Wednesday? So we're still talking about then 9 days, right? Yeah. So I think that they're looking good there.
Yeah, get this guy in some bubble wrap. Tyler Wade, I think he deserves some love. I think what he has done. Good
for you. Yeah,
he has, and I've been critical of Tyler Wade for sure, but what he has done this year is more than what they could have asked for a guy that got DFA'd, then came back, came up. He's not ever going to be this guy like Jackson Merrill. He's never going to be that, but he has contributed in a very meaningful way so far this season when he's called upon.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing is, right, like a guy like Tyler Wade, I just said right, that's one of Tyler Wade's things after every sentence. So maybe I just went into the mode. The beautiful thing of a guy like Tyler Wade is this balance of knowing what you just said is true, that he's not going to be Jackson Merrill, but then him not really believing he's not Jackson Merrill, which is great. That's exactly what you want, right? Yeah. And I just think that he's a professional baseball player. This guy could reach 10 years of service time and beyond based on just being on teams and probably winning teams. $1 million a year for the rest of his career because of what he does on and off the field. But to your point, that's cool if he's a 200, if he's a 240 hitter, but the fact that he is getting on base at a 350 clip while filling in for Merrill, that's sensational. I will say this, what you said is basically the good and bad of Tyler Wade being their center fielder for the last 2 weeks. He has played about as good as you could expect, better than you could expect. And it's still nowhere near Jackson Merrill. And that is why the Padres were 2-7 going into the last 2 games.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Merrill's going to, you get Merrill that they lost, and you're getting a lot better when he returns. Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. He's with us right now on Jon and Jim. What's going to change, Kevin, with this 4-man rotation moving forward? When's the next time they're going to need that fifth a starter, and who are the candidates, or what's most likely there?
Well, Dylan Cease goes on Friday, so then he would then again go. They need a guy in New York,
right?
So we'll see. From my understanding, Kyle Hart didn't lose that job. This was the plan from the beginning, right? I hinted at it a couple of weeks ago that it was going to happen, and it was just kind of an obvious time. There's too much time. Pavetta and King, right, just pitched on 6 days rest, and that's not what they want. So, not what the pitchers want, but you got your two best pitchers, or at least two of your best three, and certainly your two best right now. You don't want them resting that much. But the fact is, now with 6 straight games coming up, you're going to have to sub in Kyle Hart. And gosh, I don't know that you try to put a bullpen game together against the Yankees, or that you try to make Stephen Kolek. You bring Kyle Hart back up probably. And then you could go back to the 4-man, I think, one more time, but it's then you're going back again. And by the end of May, that's when they start playing 13 in a row, day off, 13 in a row, day off, 10 in a row or something like that. So from June 1st to the All-Star break, they'll be going with the 5-man rotation.
And then what about Darvish? Any update with him?
Yeah, well, there's another good point, because that's the guy who would come in just about that time, or at least barring setback, going to throw to hitters is the plan this weekend in Arizona, which is where all the injured guys will be, with Scott Hacker. There's the physical therapist. The guy's usually on the road with the team, but with all the big names that are going to be in Arizona, that's where he'll be. And Darvish does his first, whether it's simulated game, we call it, or live batting practice, probably do that a couple times there. And then I don't know where Elsinore is, or, where San Antonio is, or whatever. Does a couple rehab starts, gets up. Gosh, he's up to 35 pitches doing it in the bullpen, where he was pitching close to full intensity. I think that's plenty of time for him to get up to 5 innings and get back in. Maybe get a start or two in before they face the Dodgers.
Favorite road city to visit for you? Because you're heading out to what? Pittsburgh, New York, and Colorado. Do you have a top 2-ish list of cities to visit in Major League Baseball?
Love Pittsburgh. Love Pittsburgh.
The city or the ball? The ballpark's spectacular, isn't it?
Both. The ballpark is spectacular. The ballpark is basic. It just is basic, but the view is amazing. The ballpark's pretty, but it's not like Petco or Oracle or something. It's just the view, and it's just a city of views and greenery and rock and old buildings, and it's nice people, and it's just it's my favorite in terms. But you don't beat Wrigley. You just don't. So that's the cathedral. If I could just lean on a cliche, it just is. You walk in there, and I think maybe we talked about it. You walk in there, and you feel different. But I do love Pittsburgh, man. I probably the first place I look every year, when's the Pittsburgh trip? So yeah, it's nice. It's real nice. I love it.
All right. It's not the Oakland Coliseum, but it'll do this weekend.
Or the Sacramento Coliseum
or whatever it is.
I'll take the Oakland Coliseum over what we did there a couple of weeks ago.
Interesting.
Oh,
okay.
All right.
Controversial. Not really.
No.
Kevin, safe travels. We will catch up from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was going to say, what is it called? What is Pittsburgh called?
Oh, will we? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Wednesday. We'll catch up in Pittsburgh.
Friday.
You'll catch me in every city.
Yeah, we'll catch you everywhere.
In all 3 cities.
Yes. Thanks, Kevin.
See ya.
Travel safe. What do they call Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh?
You know what I mean? Like cities are like the Big Apple. America's. What is Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh?
3 Rivers?
Steel City.
Steel City. I'm such an idiot. I was going to say, we're going to catch up. I couldn't think of Pittsburgh's nickname.
I knew that. I just didn't want to tell you.
They only have a football team named after it.
What are they called?
The Steelers.
Kidding. All right, let's react to our conversation with Kevin on the other side, Jon and Jim. All right, tonight at 6, right here on San Diego Sports 760 SDFC Midweek Live. You're going to hear from head coach Mikey Varis, as well as interviews with players and coaches. Find out the latest club and MLS information. This is hosted by Darren Smith. SDFC Midweek Live every Wednesday at 6, and you're home for SDFC San Diego Sports 760. We might see a game 6 in the Warriors-Rockets series.
Might. This one is so over. The Warriors forgot how to play basketball.
The Warriors have not scored in like 6 game minutes. They've turned it over a ton. They trail 49-24. Are they just punting on this thing?
Yeah, this was expected.
They're just like, let's get back home.
This was expected.
Just stay healthy at this point.
Yeah. I mean, this one's
they're down 28.
You might want to just pack it up, go home. And
we're seeing that in this postseason. There's been like 3 50-point games where like a team will just be like, we got no shot. Yeah. Miami at home the other day in the elimination game, they lost by 60.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. We saw Thunder Grizzlies. There was a 55-point game.
I would almost say, look, just stop playing basketball tonight. Like, you're done.
I mean, you placed that's a serious point.
You rest Steph and Jimmy the second half. You got a quick turnaround Friday night game in the Bay Area. This one's over. Unless you have a 15-0 run in you, even then, you're still going to be trailing in the game by double digits
right now.
So you have to think about this long term. You're going to get your ass kicked tonight.
Is game 6 with 1 day off or 2? I would assume
on Friday.
1.
It's on Friday.
Oh, you got to sit these guys.
You're punting.
You can't get cute.
This one's over.
Now, do you think the Butler Steph Curry over of a half point hits tonight? Because so far it hasn't. Do you think Butler and Curry combined for a half point tonight? Because in 20 minutes tonight, they haven't scored, which is incredible.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they got a problem.
They should be fine. They'll get home.
Should be fine.
2-0 in this series at home. Take care of business in game 6.
It's going to be very ironic when the Rockets come back.
Rockets Lakers
3-1 series here.
When we see a Rockets Lakers series.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like everyone expected. We had Kevin Acey on the show just a few moments ago. Here come the Warriors. They had a slam dunk. They trailed by 27.
They trailed by 26.
We just had Kevin on the show. I think the takeaway for me is that Darvish maybe sooner rather than later. He's actually really kind of ramping up. He's up to like 35 pitch bullpens, and it is now May, or it will be tomorrow. And I don't know what the plan is, but he made some good points that they'll play 13 consecutive games a couple of times in May, and then they'll play 10 consecutive games. So when you start thinking about when are you going to rely on Darvish, they've had so many off days. They haven't really even needed him, so to speak. But there's going to be a time, late May, early June, you get the Dodgers in there and the Giants, and there's some stretches in there. They're going to need Darvish, and hopefully he's back at some point in late May.
You got 5 off days in May.
Okay, 5 more in May. Okay. How many in June?
They just have 2 in June.
Yeah, they'll need him by early June.
The thing about what Kevin said about Darvish is at the very end there, he mentioned, maybe like the Dodgers series. That's not until June.
And that's like June what? 12th?
June 9th.
Okay.
So it's still well over a month away.
That's a ways off.
That is a ways off.
Yep.
They are taking this thing and treating Darvish with kid gloves here, which they probably should. The dude's thrown a million innings in his career.
Yeah. They might need him in September, October.
Right.
They're off to a good start.
So for this, I think keeping Darvish as healthy as you possibly can is a huge priority, and you do not want to rush it, because when you get Jackson Merrill and Jake Cronenworth back, and you saw what this team did without Darvish to start the year, they went 14-3, and those still with some injuries. You get those guys back, you're not relying so much on Darvish. And Kyle Hart, he's pitched fine. I know he's not, back in this rotation just yet, but he's fine, right? Mm-hmm. Randy Vasquez has been fine, but your top guys have been really good that have been led the way.
Do you want to hear a really weird sentence?
No.
From Tim Haggerty, the AAA voice of the Padres.
Oh, sure. Love Tim Haggerty.
Luis Campusano and Mike Brousseau both just homered for the Chihuahuas against Clayton Kershaw.
What?
Wait, what? Yeah, it's the weirdest sentence. Like, okay, so Clayton Kershaw's on a rehab stint in AAA Oklahoma City. Kershaw had thrown 4 shutout innings, but the Chihuahuas have scored 3 runs in the 5th on home runs from Luis Campusano and Mike Brousseau. We spent a little bit of time yesterday talking about Campy, like, with some of the lack of productivity from the catchers, would we see Campy just because of his offense? But then again, Jim, 19-11 with one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. Like bizarre productivity at times from Diaz. You know, like I don't know if we're going to see Campusano. They're 19-11. I don't know if they quote unquote need to rock the boat with the pitching staff for these batteries based on how they're playing.
Well, if Elias Diaz is hitting home runs in the major leagues for you,
multiple this week.
I know. You had 2 hits today, I think.
I think you're right. He did. And a home run.
Did he have a hit yesterday or was that Maldonado? Who played yesterday behind the
I
plate?
think it might have been Maldonado yesterday. There's no way they went night and day with the same catcher. So it had to be Maldonado yesterday, right?
All right,
or was it Diaz?
Yesterday, Diaz had multiple hits.
Diaz played back-to-back with the day game.
He went 2 for 4
with
the run scored last night.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got, where's this game? Where did it? Here we go. And then you got today's game.
Mm-hmm.
Diaz went 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored and an RBI because he had that home run. Went 4 for 8 this series with 3 runs scored and a home run.
I don't think they need to make any real change with their catchers. Again, is it going to give you the offense you got last year? No. But if you got a good pitching staff and they're calling games with that pitching staff, I think they're just going to continue to do what they've been doing. But Campy's been hot. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So if he stays hot, maybe we'll see him at some point this year. I don't know what the numbers are, but they've been terrific, I think, for the first month of the season.
Now, El Paso is a very hitters friendly, park. Campy to me is gonna need a new change of scenery,
new organization.
Yeah, just to get in good graces of the team.
So he's got heading into today a 999 OPS. Do you think he has a higher or lower than 999 OPS if he's called back up?
No, he's not going to have a 999 OPS in the big leagues.
Close. He's hit 6 home runs in 23 games.
If he played any other position, he is at the big league level right now.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
but they just you're not going to carry 3 catchers on your roster.
Not now. Maybe in September. Well, probably in September, but not.
Well, maybe eventually
now.
Martin Maldonado will just play himself off the team because he's so awful.
Potentially. We'll see Campy at some point this year if he keeps doing this.
But hey, when you look at the numbers, Martin Maldonado had better numbers than Elias Diaz going into yesterday's game.
Right.
And then Elias Diaz goes 4 for 8 in this series. Or no, sorry.
Yeah.
4 for 8.
I think you're right. All right. We're getting you ready for this weekend as the Padres kick off a 9-game road trip in Pittsburgh, plus Jim's back page, plus updates on the NBA postseason all ahead.
No updates.
But Warriors are making a comeback.
No updates.
We've got an update for you coming up next.
No. All right, this update's brought to you by the Jim Petrell Real Estate Team. NBA playoffs happening right now. Rockets up by $1 million over the Warriors. That will go to a Game 6 Friday night. Lakers Timberwolves, they tip off at 7 p.m. Game 5 tonight. It's winner go home for the Lakers. You can listen to that game tonight right here on San Diego Sports 760. And before that, 6 p.m., SDFC Midweek Live. You can hear 1 full hour of SDFC talk right here on your home of SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. And then the Padres today beat the Giants 5-3, sweeping a quick 2-game series. They're 19-11 after the first month of the season. They have an off day tomorrow before they go on a 9-game road trip starting on Friday. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Petrell is the buyer. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
I saw what you did there about the Warriors, just saying this thing's heading back to the Bay for Game 6.
No, I'm not pulling some jinx or anything. Not by 20. It's not. No.
Teams have come back from 20, and by teams I mean all the teams come back from 20, and they are they're capable. They have Steph Curry, they have Jimmy Butler. I tend to agree with you. I don't think they're going to win this game.
We've watched the first
We've been
half.
watching. It doesn't look like they're going to win.
Going well for them.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win this game, but you never know. Now, still to come tonight, you're going to hear the Lakers, as you just said, right here on San Diego Sports 760. Lakers again, a 5.5-point favorite here tonight, facing elimination at home, just like the Rockets are tonight, facing elimination at home. Will either of these teams trailing 3-1 force a seventh game?
Yes.
One of them will.
I think one of them will.
I agree. I agree with you. I mean, I tend to think the Lakers have a better chance to do it. I really do. I'm not just saying that. They have LeBron James and Luka, and the Rockets don't. To Alex Lewis' point from yesterday.
Out the Timberwolves as being a team that could make some noise in this postseason.
Okay. I hear you.
Okay.
But do you think that the Lakers could force? Well, if the Lakers force the seventh game, you're going to say the Lakers are going to win the series, probably.
Well, of course I am.
Right. So you think the T-Wolves win in 6?
Sure. Yeah.
So what are you saying? That the Lakers are going to win the series? Or
what do you think?
I'm saying that one of these two series is going to get to a seventh game. And I think it's the Lakers T-Wolves. And if that happens, I think the Lakers win the series.
Okay.
And all this talk is for naught.
Are you disappointed with the Clippers last night?
They didn't look good. Now, they're heading, I think that thing goes 7. And I think they'll look better in Game 7 than they did in Game 5. So I'm not willing to write them off as of yet.
Right. So Game 6 will be at the new Intuit Dome.
And then Game 7 will be in Denver.
Yeah. And right now they're trailing 3-2.
Yeah. I mean, again, I was kind of hoping this would be the year with a healthy Kawhi, the Clippers could get out of the first round. Like, I mean, they had so many options here. Like, I feel like that's very compelling television. If you see the Clippers in the second round and the Lakers and the Warriors, like these are, big time stars, but you don't always get what you want. The Nuggets fired their coach, dude. And they got like the most boring player ever who's amazing in Jokic. I mean, it's not the sexiest thing. His game is incredible. I'd prefer to see the Clippers move on, but we might not get what I prefer, unfortunately.
Yeah, if you're Adam Silver. Didn't ask me. No, they didn't ask you. If you're Adam Silver, you want the big boys to move on.
I would think so.
Getting the Lakers, getting the Warriors, the Clippers, and obviously OKC's in there as well. And then in the East, you got Boston, you got the Cavs, Indiana, and then you'd want the Knicks to move on as well.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
That's kind of like a really good scenario right there for round 2 in the postseason. Adam Silver would love that.
When is my favorite day of the postseason? Do you know my favorite day in the playoffs?
When is it, John?
It's when they put the balls in the hopper and they do the lottery and they hold up the day. I've always loved that. They have like each team's general manager or player, right? Like representing the team because they're good luck. And like now you're thinking about Cooper Flagg and is he going to go to the Wizards and change the fortunes of the franchise? I like that. Do you like that? You don't like it as much because the Warriors are always good.
Yeah, I like it from a standpoint of now, the worst teams in the NBA don't always get the number 1 pick.
True. Because they changed the percentages.
Right. So if you're the Wizards, you could have the 5th overall pick this year.
Right.
Or the 4th, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever the math is. Yeah.
I do like me a good, the team has jumped.
Oh, I love that, dude.
Yeah.
When we have the deputy commissioner, that
Yeah.
guy's always at the podium, that deputy commissioner.
And then he's like holding up the cards.
I
and you're
love
like,
the placards.
oh no, the Bulls have dropped.
I love that thing. So this isn't until Monday, May 12th, right? I just looked it up. This is Monday, May 12th. So I'm not saying it's my most favorite day. Like, it's not better than Game 7 of the NBA Finals. It's not like Lakers Celtics or like Warriors Celtics. I mean, that's probably better, but I do like that. So I'm looking forward to that. I've circled Monday, May 12th. We'll carry that live. Well, we won't. We'll react to it probably. We've done that before for like 3 straight years. We've watched that thing.
Will we lead it? Have it be our lead?
No, I don't think we'll lead it. I don't think so. If San Diego had an NBA team, then yes.
Of course.
Yeah. Because they'd probably be in the lottery.
Man, I would love an NBA team here.
You take an NBA over NFL?
I think I would. But
Look,
hearing me say that, I'm like,
NBA, I take an NFL. Nah. That's tough because the NFL, 16, 17 games, 8 or 9 home games.
NFL's king.
It's king. I get it. We all get it.
And
it's still king.
We know what this town is like with an NFL team.
We got it. NBA, though, long season, 8-month season, 40-something home games, postseason's 2 months. And the NBA's been here twice.
NBA, the stars in the NBA, they, I don't know, they're just more recognizable than NFL stars. Like, walking down the street, you're like, oh, that's LeBron. Walking down the street, you're like,
yeah, you don't know, like
oh, Lamar Jackson. I mean, you used to know Lamar
Yeah,
Jackson,
kind of.
but like, still, LeBron's a bigger star than Lamar Jackson.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah.
So-
LeBron's even a bigger star than Patrick Mahomes. LeBron is a bigger star than anybody in the NFL. Would you agree with that?
I think so. Yes.
Steph Curry is a bigger star than anybody in the NFL. Would you agree with that?
I think, my only player on that list is Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes would probably be the one. Travis Kelce because of the Swifties.
Taylor, yeah. But no, I'm with you. I'm with you on Curry and LeBron. I buy it.
Like
They're some of the most popular
from
athletes.
a global aspect.
Yeah, true. NBA is so popular overseas.
Steph and LeBron, to me,
Yeah,
I don't know if there's anybody in the NFL other than maybe Patrick Mahomes, but even Patrick Mahomes, yeah, I don't know.
I think the issue the NFL runs into, to your point, is it's so American. Yeah, they've stretched out to London and like Germany, and then maybe that'll change maybe in the decade ahead. But I feel like the NBA is so European now. Like, I feel like it's really become more of a global game. Like, look at the Olympics and how competitive that has been. Where National Football League, like American football is played where? In America. We're not playing it in Germany, right? There aren't like college teams. There's no professional football team in Germany. So I'm with you. I'm with you. Now, here's the problem with both the NBA and the NFL. It's not happening.
Not in a million years.
That's the thing. So we'll just continue to watch.
Not in
the
our
NBA.
lifetimes, I feel like.
You act like we're 80.
But
you
still,
might live 55 more years.
And it won't happen.
I tend to agree with that.
No, it's not happening.
You don't see a scenario?
No.
Stan Kroenke development at the, whatever that is, Pechanga Arena?
Because if anything, they're going to choose places that aren't close in proximity to LA.
Yeah.
Or to at least close in proximity to places that have the NFL and NBA.
I've always thought that's so dumb, though.
It's
Because
dumb.
if you look at the East Coast, those cities are just as close as San Diego is to LA. Like, when you look at like Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York, Boston, those 5 NFL teams. I just named 5 NFL teams. Yes.
Yeah.
Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia, 2 in New York and Boston. That's 6 teams in like a 6-hour drive. So why can't there be 3 NBA teams or 3 NHL teams or 3 NFL teams within 2 hours of each other? San Diego's a massive city. It's whatever. We could talk about it until we're blue in the face. Should we?
You can try if you want.
I'm with you on the Warriors. They're cooked tonight. They're down by 27 at the half. They allowed 76 first half points.
No, it's over.
So it's done.
Season's over.
No, it's not. They're going to win at 6. Again, if you missed it earlier, Padres over the Giants at Petco 5-3. We had Kevin Acee on the show earlier, and there is a quote in here in his postgame article. Let me find it.
I just saw it.
Yeah. We're back to ourselves. Is that the quote?
Yes.
Who said it?
Well, I'm looking for it.
Manny Machado.
Okay.
Manny Machado said the significance of the past 2 days, we're back to ourselves. I tend to agree. Now we'll see, to your point. Got to continue to play well enough on the road, but I'm willing to look past the 4-game losing streak considering how they played the last 2 days. That's how I feel right now.
I feel the same way. They do look like they're back to themselves. Just because this team the last 2 days was the team we saw in that 14-3 start.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that team was in that 3-8 start.
Right.
That team was awful. The team we saw last 2 days, that is the team that they expect them to be, that they want to be, and that's where they're the most like comfortable is playing baseball that way. The last 2 nights, because that 3-8 Padres in that 11-game stretch, that was ugly.
No, it was ugly, including the 4-game losing streak. But Manny Machado saying post-game, we're back to ourselves. Padres will be in Pittsburgh Friday afternoon, beginning a 9-game road trip. On the other side of this break, we'll get to Jim's back page. That's next. Jon and Jim, a final time on this Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Somehow.
Why is it not Friday?
Reminder, SDFC Midweek Live in 13 minutes.
Correct.
Lakers basketball in an hour and 13 minutes. Earlier today, JJ Redick, storming out of his press conference, you're telling me, when asked about late game substitutions?
Yeah, I just saw this on the timeline, and this is from Yahoo Sports. Says JJ Redick stormed out, all caps, of his press conference after he was asked if he will lean on his assistants when it comes to fourth quarter substitutions tonight.
Okay.
Well, maybe the question was asked, JJ, because you literally didn't make a substitution last game.
It will be interesting to see if he does the exact opposite and 19 seconds into the third quarter, it's wholesale substitutions, 5 in, 5 out at the 11:39 mark of the third quarter.
Yeah, I think with JJ Redick, it's tough in the position he's in, being a rookie head coach with the players that he has on his team.
Good point.
And he's expected to win. And guess what? If they don't win, he's going to get the blame. Is anybody talking about the fact LeBron didn't score in the fourth quarter on Sunday afternoon? Or is everybody talking about the fact that JJ Redick didn't make a substitution?
JJ Redick.
Exactly.
You're right.
And it's malpractice by the head coach. Well, maybe if LeBron had, 5 points in the fourth quarter, they win that game.
Probably, since they lost by 1.
And you know what? JJ Redick is probably not taking out LeBron James in a really crucial game.
In fact, he'd probably be criticized if he took out LeBron James in crunch time, down 2-1 in that spot.
It's a lose-lose situation when you're LeBron's head coach. It really is.
It has been.
You get no credit and you get all the blame.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's get to it.
You remember the Billy Bass, big mouth Billy Bass? Brent
is shaking his head.
Yes.
From what?
You press the little button and it's like a bass.
Oh, and it talks?
And it starts singing.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Be happy.
Yeah.
Right? The Billy Bass.
Okay.
Well, the Billy Bass is on eBay right now. Guess how much a Billy Bass right now on eBay is worth?
$25.
Well, the retail price was for around $30.
$35.
Try over $300
for a Billy Bass.
For a Billy Bass on eBay. What?
Why?
Nostalgia?
Okay.
I have no idea, but right now, there's a Billy Bass on eBay going for over $300.
Would you spend $300 on a Billy Bass?
I would never spend $300 on a Billy Bass ever, John.
Would you spend the retail, $30?
I probably would never spend $30 on a Billy Bass.
Okay.
Never would happen. Burger King, John, is giving away free Fanta frozen strawberry drinks. Burger King is treating its Royal Rewards members to a sweet deal this May. Every Saturday throughout the month, members can enjoy a free frozen strawberry beverage with any purchase of just $1 or more. Not a member? No problem. Sign up for Royal Rewards. It's free and easy through the Burger King app.
Okay, I'll do that.
I didn't even know they had a frozen Fanta strawberry drink at Burger King.
Does that sound appealing to you?
I mean, it looks refreshing, but it's also probably packed with
so much sugar,
5,000 grams of sugar.
I'm not a strawberry drink guy.
I like me a good strawberry shake, like a smoothie.
Yeah. Okay. You convinced me.
Go to Jamba Juice, give me a strawberry smoothie.
Good.
Yeah.
I like strawberry quick.
Strawberry lemonade to me, though, just screams so sweet.
Oh,
and sugary.
It is definitely the sugariest sugar that you could
100%. Yeah.
If you looked at
it's just all sugar.
Oh, it's all sugar.
Yeah.
It's all sugar. And finally, Chipotle is giving away 50,000 burritos, John, to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Chipotle is celebrating Cinco de Mayo with a massive giveaway, 50,000 free burritos through a new interactive game on Roblox called Ingredient Quest. Launching at 3 p.m. on May 5th, the game lives inside the Chipotle's burrito builder experience on Roblox. Players must collect all 53 virtual ingredient cards by earning burrito bucks and finding hidden cards in a digital scavenger hunt. The first 50,000 users to complete the set will receive a free Chipotle entree. Chipotle is also offering $0 delivery fees from May 1st to May 5th with code DELIVER on the app or the website. You know what? I'd rather just go buy a burrito.
I was about to say that. As opposed to going on some goose chase scavenger hunt, your burritos are at $99.99.
They're
$10
at most.
Right. So for $9.49, I think I'd rather just spend the $9.49.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Than do the scavenger hunt via some random app.
I'd rather just go buy the burrito.
When a company does a promotion like that, just give the burrito away.
Or
like if you say, go to the Chipotle app, first 50,000 to do this, they can get it. Okay. But now I got to do scavenger hunts. I'll just buy it.
Or I have an idea. How about on Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah.
You give away to every customer, guacamole's free.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because they make such a big shtick
about guac
being extra.
What do they charge for that? $2-3?
Yeah. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
And for just a slab of guacamole.
I know, just throw it on there.
It's like I could go buy 2 avocados at the store for 99 cents and make me some guacamole. I've done that the last couple nights, actually.
Are you a Chipotle guy?
I do like me some Chipotle.
Kristen is always ordering
But I'm not. I don't eat it a lot because Aaron's not a big fan of it. So
yes, that's interesting because Kristen loves it, but I don't, and you like it, and she doesn't.
The only reason why Aaron doesn't like it is because it doesn't make her feel good after.
Well, that's a problem.
I know.
The only
she's like, it tastes amazing.
Right.
There's no.
The only reason the Rockies haven't been good is they don't score as many runs as their opponent. Yeah, it's a big problem though for them.
Just make me feel well. I feel like crap afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Watching the Rockies makes you feel that way too.
Yeah.
It's fine. Is how I look at it. Like I like it, but I don't love it.
So you just need to tell Kristen to.
She is obsessed with it.
How many nights a week does she want Chipotle?
She'll randomly maybe Monday she texts me like, go to Chipotle and pick it up on your way home. I already placed the order. I'm like, what?
That's what my wife does too.
Does she? She's like, I've already placed the order. Go pick up the food.
Yeah, she just does it. Sometimes she'll just do things without asking me.
Honestly, I'm cool with that.
I'm totally cool with that too.
Right? Because especially you do a lot of the cooking.
I do all the cooking.
Kristen does all the cooking, so she's cool if I just say like, I'm going to deal with it.
Yeah.
Which I never do.
No,
I never say like, hey, honey, I'll pick up food on the way home. I've never said that.
Never?
Never once.
That is a constant conversation with me and Aaron.
I know.
Every single day. What do you want for dinner?
Well, Kristen will be like, do you want pizza from the place next door? And I'll be like, sure, place the order. I'll pick it up. But I never am the one to elicit to start the conversation.
Wow.
It's not good for me. I just assume they'll be like food. It's a bad assumption, but
yeah. Last night, I made carne asada tacos.
Oh, I saw. You sent it in a group chat with Darnay.
Yeah, homemade guacamole.
How were those?
Homemade corn salsa.
Were they free with the scavenger hunt app?
No, but it's much easier just to do that than spend an hour of my time trying to play a game for a $9.99 burrito.
That you may not even get because it's only for the first 50,000 people and the project sold out.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Over if you're doing like the entire country, 50,000 will probably go like that. Yeah.
All right, we're going to be back tomorrow. Padres off day. Don't miss it. Beginning at 2 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. You know who's on the show tomorrow? Rich Waltz. He'll call the Pirates-Padres game for Apple TV Friday night. And Rich Waltz will join us tomorrow on Jon and Jim. If you missed anything today, sportssd.com, iHeartRadio app. For Marshall and Brent and Jim, I'm Jon. Keep it here. SDFC Midweek Live, Lakers basketball coming up next.
Okay.